No, CTR. We're watching him, but he's not live yet. So I have nothing better to do today. And a bunch of shit happened about Dragon's Dogma, so I'm just gonna restream this until like I don't know whenever I get bored of it, and then I might play something myself, either the original Dragon's Dogma or I might just play Dave the Diver. Either way, that's what my plan is for today. But yeah, I'm also trying to ease myself back into doing whatever the fuck. Also, how are you doing? He is currently not live right now. Let's see if I can just get up here. Let's see, I need to pop this shit out. Where's the interact button? There we go. Yeah. Can you play in Rise? No, nice, yeah. I keep trying to bring Millie into that, but our schedules are like terrible with it right now. Just because like she's busy, I'm busy, and we just never have time also due to time zones because she's 3 hours behind me. So it's just like one of those things where it's like, oh, when can we do at something? When can we hang out and play? And she's like, well, when I'm done work. I'm like, well, when is that? I'm like, 9:30 your time. I'm like, fuck. That's like I'm like in bed by then. I am close to passing out by then. But yeah, he's not live yet. Let's see. He's in chat. He's in chat. And what the fuck is this AI generated bullshit? Oh yeah, some like fucking I don't know. But yeah, okay, so to catch you up to speed on everything that's been going on, because apparently Dragon's Dogma 2 has caused a lot of issues for people. It's getting review bombed because people are stupid. So I am very curious as to how Phil will try to spin this, because he always loves to fence it. But the whole thing with Dragon's Dogma 2 is from all outlets, from everybody that's actually played the game, and as of last night, like around like midnight my time or whatever, you could play the game. You could have preloaded it and started playing it last night. Apparently it's good, and it's like actually fun, and it deserves all the high scores it gets. But because its Steam page lists like 40 things as DLC, people have gotten pissed. People have gotten pissed. Like, I'm like, this is pay to win. I'm like, you literally get everything that's in this DLC pack in the first 2 hours of playing. Shut the fuck up and actually play the game. It's one of those things where, if you look at Capcom's history, they've done this for pretty much every major release since like the original Dragon's Dogma, and I think maybe like the original Dragon's Dogma had DLC in it too. And then Dark Revisit came out and put all that DLC into your inventory from the start, so it didn't have DLC on the Steam release. I forget when they started doing this. Monster Hunter World, I believe, was when they first started doing this kind of thing, where they just had like random ass DLC that's like, why the fuck would you buy this? Devil May Cry 5 had that kind of DLC where it's like, oh, you can buy red orbs. I'm like what? You're literally paying people to not you're literally asking people to pay you to not play the game at that point, because you get red orbs by playing the game, and you get so many red orbs by playing the game that you literally do not need to buy them. But they had them as like DLC packs, so you can buy this, you can get this many red orbs for like $20. Like, who the fuck buys this? Who would need to? Like, you get fucking Dr. Faust like halfway through the game, and Dr. Faust farms red orbs for you to the point where you just have millions of red orbs in like 10 minutes. Meaning you have the same amount of red orbs that you would have gotten for like paying like $200 over the course of 10 minutes. There's no purpose to buying red orbs in Devil May Cry 5 unless you're that fucking lazy and just don't want to play the game. And in that case, just don't play the game. Let's see. So what happened with the Rise and all the cosmetic DLC? Kind of. There is one piece of DLC that World and Rise have that I do not like, and that is character edit vouchers, where you can edit your character, certain aspects of your character, with a voucher that costs like $2. You get one for free from getting the expansion pack. If you were playing World and you got Iceborne, you got one character edit voucher for free. And same thing if you were playing Rise and then got Sunbreak, you got one character edit voucher for free. Otherwise, they cost $2 each. If you're playing on PC, you could just have infinite character edit vouchers by just going in and using a cheat editor to give yourself infinite of every item. And because that item is hashed into the game's code, you just give yourself unlimited character edit vouchers and you can just do whatever the fuck. And character edit vouchers, the only things that allow you to change that you can't change by default are your character's physical build, like body gender. So you can't like pick, you'd have to pick from like, you're stuck with your, like if you pick male 1, you're stuck with male 1. And eye color and voice. If the voice is not DLC. If the voice is DLC, and that includes the free DLC of Aaron Hansen's stupid voice, you could add that DLC voice to any character you want. But if you want to change your voice from one of the default voices, you would have to use a character edit voucher. But the DLC voices could be used on any character, no matter what, and you could just change that within the character edit without having to use a voucher. It's not that big of a deal. With Dragon's Dogma, it is because your character's build and weight, and like if you have like a big fat character or like a really skinny light character, that actually determines what your equipment load can be set to. And that's a problem. But then again, they also say like you can actually get character edit vouchers in game, like around like 5 to 10 hours in, long after you've decided, hey, maybe I want to change my build up a little bit. They give you enough time to experiment with the build that you make, and then you can just use your edit voucher to switch to a different build. It's not a big deal. I use a character voucher to switch my voice to Christina V. Who was that? Like I know who Christina V is, but did she just voice an original character, or was she just like somebody else in the thing? Oh, yeah, I know that. I know that. I meant like in Monster Hunt, and I meant like in Monster Hunter. Like what was the role she had in Monster Hunter? Because I know she wasn't either of the twins, and she wasn't Manale. Manale was I forget. Manale was the same voice actress who did Makoto from Persona 5. I forget what her name is, but she did that voice too. Also, Phil's live, so that's the thing. Phil's live.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the show. What an exciting week we have in store as we continue on with RPG Overload. We've got the launch of a brand new, very hot and exciting RPG today in Dragon's Dogma.
He cannot decide on a proper term for this shit. Like, it's either RPG Mass or RPG Overload, and I should say that he did this to himself because he decided to play Baldur's Gate several months after it had been released. It's taking forever and a day to finish it, and also he didn't even fucking buy it. The only reason he's playing it is because somebody bought it for him and he makes $100 a stream for him, and that's it. He fucking hates the game. He could have dropped it at any point. He just refuses to because he knows it makes him money. And the other RPG that he's playing is Like a Dragon, and he makes nothing doing that and hates that too. I've got my media controls don't work on this.
Huge push to finish the lingering playthroughs of Baldur's Gate 3 and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. But in addition to all of that, today we have a overabundance of gaming news to talk about on the show. So I hope that you're ready. Buckle back, sit back, buckle in, get ready, because this is the Level 1 Podcast.
Okay, to go over what the fuck he's about to talk about. One is probably the bullshit with the Steam review bombing of Dragon's Dogma 2, which is partially off of the microtransaction shit, partially based on the fact that in Dragon's Dogma 2 you only have one save file and it is tied to the cloud, and until Capcom rolls out a patch you cannot reset your game. That is actually shit. That is actual horse shit. Like, the fact that you cannot, like, once you make a character, you're set in stone stuck with that shit, that is actually terrible. And I can understand why people are upset about that thing in particular. The microtransactions, no, fuck off with that shit. That's not even that bad. The character stuff, yes, feel free to be angry at that shit. The other thing that I think he might be talking about is Kotaku circling the ball finally, because their editor-in-chief quit over them having to do more work. They were Kotaku's editor-in-chief was basically told by Geo Media, their parent company, stop writing about politics. Nobody gives a shit about that. Instead, you need to be writing 50 game guides it was either per month or per week. And then they quit. They then quit, and a bunch of other people like that work for Kotaku. I'm like, you should stop, celebrating the loss of our livelihoods. And I'm sitting here like, you should stop, pretending you actually are doing your fucking job. You should actually do your job. Nobody gives a shit about like this other shit that you're writing. Actually do your job. Write game reviews, write guides, write about literally anything else. And Kotaku might be going away. I don't really care. I stopped. The only reason Kotaku exists in the minds of most content creators like myself is to be mocked. That's about it. Nobody reads Kotaku seriously anymore. It's only because they might say something really, really stupid that's worthy of mockery, and then we go ahead and read it. Like that's the only reason to get like any sort of traction at all. And as far as what they're doing now with like, oh, you need to be writing 50 game guides, like, well, that's untenable. Like there aren't that many games out there. It's like, yeah, right, they're not. But if you go on any place like GameMate, Games Radar, or Game Rant, or any of those places that have the word game as like part of their website title or whatever, you will see like a bunch of guides on how to do the easiest, most basic shit imaginable. Sometimes they're helpful, sometimes they're not. Like if you're like, oh, this is how you get iron. Here is our guide on how to get iron ore in Monster Hunter Rise. Like, do you really need a fucking guide for that? Like, you need a guide to get one of the most basic ass resources at low level in Monster Hunter. Are you that incompetent at this game? But I think that's what the Kotaku, that's what Geo Media has wanted them to do, because that they saw like those sites getting traffic purely on that. And they're like, well, our site's circling the drain already. We need you guys to cut it with articles that nobody reads and actually try to drive SEO to the site. And we need to do that with like 50 guides like in a very short amount of time or whatever. She's one of the voices I didn't know about because I started against Japanese from the start. Yeah. Yeah, I think she just might be one of the, like, voice whatever number, if that's what you're saying then. I thought she might have been like a character or something like that they added in his DLC. But yeah, so that's what he's probably going to go on about. And also we have his stupid schedule talk. Let's see if we can skip ahead a little bit.
And welcome to the show. I hope you're all in good spirits. I hope that you're feeling well and ready for an action-packed day of new release goodness here on the channel. If not, hopefully I can put you into a good mood and we'll have a good time together today. Man, a lot of news happened on my day off as usual. It's weird because, you know, I don't always have exactly the same day off. I always try to aim for the same day, Thursday, but sometimes it doesn't work out that way. And it seems like whatever day I'm not streaming is the day when there's absolutely the most game news possible. Never fails. So we've got a ton.
No, that's just because news happens on every day. It's not because there's some sort of conspiracy to have all this shit go live on your day off, Phil. It's just because news happens every day. And you happen to ignore most of it because the only thing you manage to read on your normal streaming days is whatever the fuck comes across your timeline within the 5 to 10 minutes that you're reheating a bagel in your microwave. And on your days off, you have obviously more time to read on what's going on because news happens throughout the day, which you then ignore. And which then makes your coverage of the news inaccurate and about as reliable as a Kotaku journalist.
I mean, we've got stories about Larian Studios. We've got stories about Starfield and its botched storyline. We've got stories about Kotaku falling apart. All kinds of stuff is happening right now, and I'm excited to cover all of that for you today. But
it's literally just Twitter headlines, like the whole Larian Studios headline. Oh, we got stories about Larian Studios or whatever. Here's a story about Larian Studios. They came out and said, we have no plans to make Baldur's Gate 4. And we have no plans to make DLC for Baldur's Gate 3. That's literally it. That's the entire story. Larian is going to be working on other IP. That's what they said. They're going to focus on other IP. After the success of Baldur's Gate 3, they're going to go back to whatever they like doing the most. And they're going to hand the Baldur's Gate IP back to Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast. That's literally it. It's a nothing story. It's literally just like one tweet, and I told you everything you need to know in that like 30 seconds. He's going to go on about it for about like 10 minutes.
Is the release of Dragon's Dogma 2, which is funny because, remember, I was on the fence between getting Dragon's Dogma 2 or Rise of the Ronin, and which I was going to play today. And you guys convinced me. Originally, I was going to get Rise of the Ronin because I felt that would be more variety for the channel, but you guys convinced me to get Dragon's Dogma 2. And the funniest part about that is I am not hearing a single peep in gaming news or even social media today about Rise of the Ronin. Everyone's talking about Dragon's Dogma 2. That's it. Like, there's no real discourse about Rise of the Ronin, which means essentially what's happened is all the other games today are being overshadowed by Dragon's Dogma 2. Remember,
Let me take a look at that to see the accuracy, because I've also seen this, but this is just on my For You tab on Twitter. My For You tab on Twitter is also just full of like the most ridiculous horse shit because I tend to argue with a lot of people. Please ignore that. Let me take a look. I'm just gonna take a look at. I'm just gonna search for Rise of the Ronin. So it's official stuff from PlayStation. Official stuff from PlayStation. Happy New Games Day. Somebody playing it. There are people that are playing. There are people that are saying that, like, you know, they are enjoying the game. It's just, you know, not making waves, not making headlines. Mostly because Dragon's Dogma 2 got review bombed. That's what's happening. Like, a lot of people are just saying, "Oh, I like the game. It sounds really cool," or like, you know, having fun with it. That's all like the social media is about it. But like everything you see about Dragon's Dogma 2 is literally just, this game has microtransaction bad, Capcom bad. I don't know, one save bad. Like it's just that. It is just negative press, which obviously leads headlines because that's what negative press does. People are more apt to talk about criticizing something than they are about praising something. The fact that Rise of the Ronin is still getting praised at all is still like a good thing. It's a good sign that it's doing all right. I'm going to take a look at this Metacritic score because I haven't read anything about it at all either. I just have not been interested in Rise of the Ronin. It seems like it's okay. It's just like one of those games. Like it's like it's good for like a time, and if you want something to tide you over for a little bit, it seems fine. I'm still waiting for Stellar Blade to come out just because I'm more into line with that. I'm just taking a look here. Sorry, we're stuck on Phil's stupid face. It's gotten a 76 on Metacritic as a general aggregate score. That's not that bad. It's a very, very respectable game. Maybe something that you can pick up on sale, but whatever.
There's more as well. There's actually a Super Princess Peach that also is coming out today. And the thing is,
I was counting down for Acheron and Star Rail. Because she gets out in a few more days. I'm gonna take a look at who Acheron is.
Play it, but again, you know, when it comes to the big gaming news and the buzz today, it's definitely Dragon's Dogma 2. Sadly, it's not all for positive reasons, as we're going to talk about in a second. Now, also today, I got to talk about my day off yesterday. I've got a few things to discuss there, and I feel like we should just get right into the discussion because we have so much to cover, okay? So, back on Wednesday, my last streaming day, lots of great progress in both Baldur's Gate 3, where we completed the House of Lost quest line for Shadowheart, and then we actually started the quest line for Will, where we're going to try apparently to get a dragon to help us in the end game. So the progress is moving very smoothly in Baldur's Gate 3, and some people are under the impression...
Oh yeah, I see her. I was going to do a joke, but I can't actually find a good image for my joke. She looks like Crony. She just looks like Crony. Granted, the Crony is peak design, but still, Acheron just looks like Crony. At least that's how she looks to me. But like, I have not been playing Honkai recently. I probably should because I like Sparkle a lot. I don't know, Sparkle. Like, aside from the fact that a lot of people like Sparkle because I can fix her vibes. No, for me, Sparkle because I can make her worse vibes.
Again, moving forward positively, it looks like when I play it again, we'll get into chapter 13 of 14. So we're there. We're hitting end.
Well, yeah, like I can see like it's the color scheme of the outfit plus like some design elements. It looks like basically, and also the hair color too. And she looks like she has like hair vents and some artwork. If you want Sparkle a few days to get her before she goes away to let Acheron in, I'm waiting. I'm actually legitimately waiting because I do not want to get into a MiHoYo game, like significantly after it has been out. I am specifically waiting to start playing Zenless Zone Zero. I signed up for like a beta key for that. They have not gotten back to me yet, so obviously I haven't gotten a key yet. So I'm waiting for Zenless Zone Zero to come out, and I don't know. Like, it's good as good as like Honkai looks. It's just like I don't want to get into it like when there's already so much established stuff. And then because I already am playing like technically 3, but really 2 gotchas, and one of them is having a content drop literally next week, which is Limbus Company's Clear All Kathy is coming out, which is the next big content drop for Limbus Company. That is chapter 6. I will be streaming all of that. And it should be a fun time for that too.
We're gonna do the clip show
But yeah, no, like, no, I like Sparkle's design. I love her PV. Like, everything about her is just great. I also really like the fact that, like, it's the same voice actor as Pomni from the Amazing Digital Circus. And the fact that, like, one of the last frames of her video is just like the banquet scene from Amazing Digital Circus. Or, like, it looks like it's kind of like a bit of like a reference to that. And I'm like, I'm like, does that deliver it? Was that actually deliberate? Because obviously her being the voice actor for both characters is like just, you know, coincidence, but still that end scene is just like, come on. That has to be on purpose.
I want to start our co-op playthrough of Beyond Two Souls, but we need to finish Baldur's Gate and Like a Dragon to get to that point where the schedule will free up. So we're going to get there, okay? We're getting there. This week is the final week for that, and I'm happy to start the week with a new release, quite frankly, because if it weren't and it was the same every day, it would get boring, but the fact that we're breaking it up is great, okay? Cool. All right, so good stuff, all right? I'm very excited for today. Before we get to today, let's do a little segment that I like to call Phil's Day Off, where I will talk about what I did on my day off yesterday. Not
oh my
exactly
God.
the most epic day. It was basically
nothing is epic.
I knew we were going to be doing, well, I was going to be doing a lot of errands, but then we were also going to be setting up for Dragon's Dogma today, which was fun. It looks like, you know, in the next couple of weeks, we're going to go out and have a major day out where we do a bunch of stuff together. So a more of a laid back day. You know, I ran my usual errands like pet store and grocery store. We ended up doing a lot of cleaning. One of the things that we stopped using.
I want to hear what cleaning he did. Also, how much skip juice do we have? How behind are we?
With a screen.
We are 5 minutes behind him.
It's a beautiful view of all this forest area and a dog walking park that we have behind our house, and we love it because we put out like a little suet block on our fence and a little cage that hangs there. We get all kinds of creatures that come by, birds and squirrels and all kinds of stuff, and wild nature out there. It's a really beautiful view, the best view I've ever had.
Jesus Christ, he makes it sound like a Disney thing. Also, no, you do not want squirrels on your property. Squirrels are fucking vermin. They actually will fuck your shit up pretty badly. You do not want squirrels. The fact that he's like, oh, we put this block out here and like we get all sorts of things there. Yeah, you want something that does not attract squirrels. If you want birds, you want something that also will not get squirrels. I doubt he has anything like that. He just acts like, it's like, oh yeah, it's just like, it's this beautiful thing or whatever. I was like, no, it's a fucking like, it's a fucking like bird feeder, man. Like, it's not that deep. It's not that complicated. Just fucking hang a bird feeder. Put some seed in it. You're fine. Like, I gotta wonder, like, why the fuck he even does that, because he never goes outside. It's like, they want to, like, watch the woodland critters or whatever. He's called them woodland critters before. And it's just like, no, it's just fucking birds. Like, seriously, just say birds. Who calls them creatures?
It's very quiet because we don't have a street near us. But we have had busted blinds on this door for many, many, many years. They are just sliding plastic blinds. You could tell they were installed in the 1990s when the house was built. We hate them. Since the day I moved in, I knew that they were garbage because they started falling off and cracking and breaking. And the funny part about this is, think about how stupidly designed this was. There's hanging plastic blinds, okay, on top of a vent on the floor that cannot be closed. So whenever we're turning on the heat or there's air circulation with our system, it blows the blinds and the blinds start flapping all over the place, making tons of noise. So why the hell would you ever want that? It doesn't make sense. It's like,
you could just turn the intensity of the heating system, or like he says you just turn the heat down like just a little bit, and the blinds don't move as much. It's not that big of a deal.
And they, like I said, they've been breaking and falling apart. We don't even use them. We had them all drawn to the side and not used for ages. And finally, we were like, we want to fully clean the house. So we were like cleaning everything. And my wife was cleaning fully the doors. And I said, we're going to take these damn blinds down. We don't use them. They're just here in the way. So I did. And it wasn't that big of a deal. It took maybe about a half an hour. But it was just hilarious. You're looking at 1990s technology. And you're like, I bet when these were new, they were nice.
First of all, 1990s technology for fucking blinds. For fucking straight slat vertical blinds. 90s technology. That shit was like around like the 40s. Like older than that. It's not even like it's just like literally a plastic slat on a rail. Also, how the fuck do you take a half hour to do that? Like literally, it takes like no time at all to do it. You like unscrew the fucking like rail at the top of whatever, and then you slide the things off. It takes no time at all. Like shit. I have like, was it blackout curtains in this office right now. It took me 5 minutes to install them at most. And that literally was just me unfolding the curtains and throwing them on a rail. It takes no time at all to do this shit. Like it took like a half hour to take off blinds. Like how fucking lazy or like inept do you have to be that it takes that long to remove blinds?
You can tell they're made of like cheaper plastic, and you know that within a few years these things are going to get brittle, they're going to stain, they're going to break. Like they're not meant for long-term use. So why on earth would anyone even make them? Like either make them of wood, which will be way more durable and will be way more, useful, or just make cloth blinds, which a lot of people do. They have like curtains or shades that are made of cloth. Duh. Why
cloth blinds? Like
shitty plastic blinds? I have no idea. They're just really horribly designed. So we got rid of them, and it took a little bit. That it was older design, so it's weird because the track is blocking the screw to take it down. Yeah, it didn't make any sense. So what I had to do is pry the track off of these like clips that they were on. It was just really weirdly designed, but I got rid of it, and we're thinking about getting something cheap. Like how you get those bars that you can screw and then they fit, a doorway or a window, excuse me, and then you can get like just cheap like curtains. We might do something like that. Like we'd like to get better ones, but it's going to be expensive. And quite frankly, if I'm going to be getting expensive curtains, I need to get them for this office because these blinds over here are completely like destroyed. They won't even, if I pull them up, they won't even come down anymore. And they don't even work that well. I'm thinking, eventually we're going to get blackout curtains for this room. So we're thinking about getting something very
You've been living here and working out of this office for like 15 years, like 10 years or whatever. Like, how the fuck do you not have that shit already? I got blackout curtains in my office, like after I've been doing this shit for like literally like a year and a half. And that's like, that's like something like, yeah, I realized that if I was going to like be doing this, I can't be doing this when the sun sets and the sun's in my eyes.
Anyway.
And it would be a pain in the ass. So I got blackout curtains. It's like, you do this shit like year one if you need them.
For those who have never heard of it, it is a game that is a combination of factors. It kind of feels in some ways like Minecraft, but then it kind of feels like Subnautica, but then it kind of feels like a bunch of other games. Essentially, what you are a stranded space person, and you have a mech, and you use this mech to do all this stuff like crafting, gathering, farming, building, exploring. Okay? There are no enemies in this game. This game is meant to only be an exploration game, more of a chill game. And
I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about right now.
It has really nice, relaxing music and pretty good graphics. Also, a lot of unique space creatures are on the planet that you can befriend and basically feed, and they give you resources and things. It's a
Phil, this would actually be a lot more interesting if you had a fucking trailer for this at the time. I don't even know what game this is supposed to be. Let me check.
I was looking into the backyard, running to the back. I got a new game that came out on Game Pass the other day called Lightyear Frontier.
Okay, that's the name of the game. Okay.
So for example, you'll be playing it.
Give me a second, because we're going on a field trip. Okay, so Lightyear Frontier, gonna max out this thing, and we're going to disable YouTube mode, display catcher. Let's move this over here, and I'm going to just do this. Okay, this actually looks really, really cool. Phil makes everything sound fucking boring, but this actually looks really, really cool. It literally is just like, he's like, oh, it's like Minecraft, just like a whole lot of things. Like, no, this reminds me more like Slime Rancher. Like, honestly, it looks really nice. It looks like a very, very comfy game. Just like a really, really good farming sim. Oh, that's full person co-op too. That's pretty cool. Hey Phil, why don't you play this co-op with your fucking wife? Why don't you play this together with her? Or do you just not want to do that? Do you just hate doing anything co-op? because his idea of co-op is literally just a single player game where they switch off the controls. Yeah, it's on Xbox Series and Steam. Okay. Yeah, okay, so that's actually pretty cool. Get back here. Let me go back to Mr. Burnell. Let me take off Lightyear Frontier. Oh.
And it'll be like, oh, you need to make a lens. Okay, how do I do that? You got to try to figure it out. It's like, well, to make a lens, you have to develop this device, like a furnace, and you also have to find this rare mineral, but you can't get that rare mineral at the starter area. You have to unlock a new area of the map by exploring and doing all of this. Once you get that mineral, you have to refine it, then you put it in the furnace, then you can do this, and then you get the lens. But the game doesn't say any of that. So how would I know? It's early access, so they don't have, like...
You just figure shit out. It's a farming game. Like, it's actually, like, it's a farming game. Like, you just figure shit out by combining things. You're just experimenting. How would I know any of that? Because you just experiment. You need to have something called intellectual curiosity in order to enjoy something like this.
And, I mean, if you're just sitting there with a guide playing a relaxing game, it's not that relaxing anymore, right? So the game is good. The graphics are good. It's very relaxing. But it does have some problems with things that are kind of missing from this kind of game. And there are some game bugs, too. Like, every once in a while, it says it's raining weed seeds. And what it is seeds are coming out of the ground with these helicopters. You ever seen those seeds that come off of a certain kind of tree? And it looks like almost like helicopter blades, and they zip down like this. So a bunch of those come out of the sky. And what you're supposed to do is suck up all the seeds. Well, Kat's playing it, and it says, oh, the seeds are coming down. She's like, there's no seeds. What are you talking about? And then it says, oh, event ended. And she's like, I don't know what happened. And then later on, she was looking up at the sky, and way up in the sky, you could see like 40, 50 seeds were stuck. They got stuck up there, and whatever was supposed to remove to make them drop never did. So there's like a giant clump of seeds just floating in the sky endlessly, and she can't reach them. So, I mean, that's what happens with early access games. It looks, by the way, the game doesn't seem early access when you start playing it. It definitely looks like a polished experience. The graphics are quite good, and the music is very relaxing, and it feels like a completed game until you get like maybe... yeah, I'd say about 10 hours in, and then you start to see it gets rough around the edges. Like, the early parts are done, and the later parts are not so much. I would say the distinct difference between this game and other games of this style, there's no enemies at all in Lightyear Frontier. So you don't have to worry about, oh, I'm getting attacked, and I need to defend myself or build defenses. And also, there's no eating mechanic, so you don't have to worry about, oh, I need to have food to eat. You're more growing stuff so you can craft future stuff. So, it's...
I mean, Slime Rancher has that. You can actually play the game and like have tar disabled. I forget what option that is, but there is a way to actually play Slime Rancher and not have to worry about the tar. It's like some option in like when you start the game up, when you start like a new ranch, that you could just be like, you know, play the game normally with all the hazards and everything else like that, or you could play the game with no hazards, just have an easy time, which disables the tar and some other like more survival-y mechanics. And a lot of these survival games have that kind of thing where you can sort of like customize your experience just a bit in order to, you know, make it easier on yourself if you just want to have something a bit more relaxing than just having to worry about like any sort of survival mechanics or any sort of enemies. This is not a unique thing, but to him it is because he's never played a thing like this before.
Definitely a lot more relaxing of a game. And if you have Game Pass, I recommend it if you're looking for this style of game where you just want to kind of chill and unwind when you play a game.
He could just have posted screenshots. Like, I like literally just showed a trailer. It's not that difficult.
Perhaps
Jesus Christ.
Down the line this year, if you guys want me to try out a new chill streaming game, again, remember when I played Subnautica and it worked for a while? I think this game works in that regard. And by the way, they're obviously going to keep updating it. This is early access. So perhaps, you know, in a few months, the game would have a lot more features to make it feel
like step-by-step instructions. By now, yeah. I think that guy got leaned.
There you go. So anyway, she played a lot of that yesterday. And we also, you know, came into the office here and made 2 characters for my Dragon's Dogma 2 playthrough. I made my main character, and she made a pawn for me. Okay, the main pawn. Now, I'm not going to spoil at all. Obviously, I want you to be here for the playthrough after this podcast, or if you're watching on demand, check out the video later today to see the characters. All I'm going to say is this. Wow, that character creator is one of the most complex I've ever seen in my life, okay? And, again, without spoiling, I think you guys are going to... some people's jaws are going to...
He just trying to hype shit up.
Okay?
He just trying to hype shit up at this point.
That's all I'm going to say. Okay, so Dragon's Dogma 2 coming later today, and I'm excited for that. Outside of that, so we
let's
did something really weird that we never would usually
can we
do
speed this
for
up?
food yesterday. We're looking at everything. We're like, man, you know, we've had Asian recently. We've had Mexican food recently.
I'm going to go up to
We're
1.25.
kind of burned out on all the things that usually we would get. All right, what's something we absolutely never, ever,
And where
ever
are we
get?
at by now?
Fried chicken. Never. We never eat it. And we're like, why not just go crazy one day and just do it just for variety? I'm like, well, if we're going to get fried chicken,
Here's like just for variety. Like this literally like it's just like a phrase he throws the fucking anything that means nothing.
We found out that you can get this like family dinner pack from.
We're 10 minutes behind.
And it's not what you think. You think family dinner pack, we're probably gonna get a bunch of chicken, right? Well, we wanted to do something different, so we actually got this pack. They just got wings, chicken wings. They just started it like recently. It got to their menu. So basically, what you do is you can get 2 different flavors of chicken wings and a chicken sandwich each. And then you can order, like, you get a side with it too, and it's like a combo pack. We're like, you know what? What the hell? Let's just try it. We haven't had their wings ever because they're new. The chicken sandwich I had many years ago, if you remember, after the Popeyes sandwich craze finally ended.
Oh, they went to Popeyes. I was like, where the fuck did they go? They got like wings and sandwiches. Like, oh, Popeyes, yeah, because Popeyes is selling wings now.
So we ordered this, and we ordered 2 flavors of wings. It was honey barbecue and sweet and spicy wings. And they were all right. Okay, they weren't the best. They weren't the worst. I have this weird thing about wings today because wings, just so you know, first of all, chicken wings are literally supposed to be chicken wings. I don't know how many of you know that, but chicken wings are actually supposed to be the wing. Today, they'll give you any piece of the chicken, as long as it's small and bite-sized, they call it a chicken wing, and it's not. They sell the little chicken drumsticks, that's a wing. It's not, it's a drumstick. I get it, but it's not a wing. Like, they're calling it wrong. If you used to go and get chicken wings, you would literally get a plate of wings. You don't get that anymore.
What the fuck is he talking about? Yeah, it's called a drumlet, and it's literally one part of the wing. It's like when you get a chicken wing, it is separated into like 2 parts. One of them is like the wing bone itself, which is like if you were to literally cut off an arm of a human person, you have the forearm, which is one long bone, and then you have that's like the main arm, like not the forearm, and then you have the forearm, which is basically like 2 smaller bones like connected by cartilage at either end. That's what the wing is. It's literally 2 pieces of the chicken bone. Like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like, it's like, oh my god. I'm yelling about it. Jesus Christ. We're gonna keep going. Jesus Christ. I got arguing.
And here's the other weird thing. Everyone breads them now, which I don't understand. Classic chicken wings, they don't bread them at all. It's fried, but usually what they do is they season and dry rub it, or they put it in a sauce, and it has that flavor cooked into the skin of the chicken. So it's supposed to be a crispy chicken skin, and then you can dip it in something else to add more flavor if you like, or to have a contrasting flavor. Today, all it is breaded chicken. And like, that's not a chicken wing. That's not even.
You fucking order from Popeyes. Like, yeah, Popeyes specializes in fried chicken. If you go to Popeyes and you order the wings, it's going to be fried wings. If you go to a fucking pub, like if I go down to my local dive bar, like down the street, and order a plate of wings, they're going to give me a plate of fried, like what he said, fried, unbreaded wings. And he's like, oh, you toss in the sauce in the dry rub or whatever. It's like, no, you do that after you cook the wing. What the fuck is he talking about? Like, I'm sorry, but wings are like some of my favorite, like some of my, I would say like it's not really a guilty pleasure because I don't feel guilt eating them, but it's like one of my favorite like trashy foods is like chicken wings. You can't beat like a good chicken. You can't beat like a good plate of wings and a side of blue cheese. You really can't. And this motherfucker does not know how to like make wings or how wings work. It's just so stupid. Yeah. The whole thing is just, oh my, like this actually annoys me. This really annoys me. That's like, he's like complaining about like, oh, I went to a place that specializes in breaded fried food and got breaded fried food. Like, what the fuck is, why? It's like, I don't get it. Okay, let's go. Let me just go back to this. Yeah, comfort food. Yeah, comfort food. Yeah, that's basically it. Wings are a big comfort food for me. I love wings.
And then they just toss it in.
And I will share some lore with you as well. There's like kind of like the thing, like the kind of like a little bit of the story behind the art piece that I got with Millie a little while ago. We have discussions sometimes about
it was pretty good. It had a little
food.
Bit of
like I'm serious. We had discussion about food sometimes, and like she cannot stand spicy, so I always tell her, it's like, okay, so if we were to get wings, here's what we'll do. You can get your lemon and pepper bullshit, which is fine. Like it's all right. It's not my thing, and I will get the spicy hot buffaloes or the mango habanero, and she's like, that's good with me. We've had this discussion multiple times about like the kinds of chicken that we like and the kinds of rubs and dipping sauces we would enjoy with those wings.
It was decent. Now the chicken sandwich I've had it before. I knew what it was going to be, and it was all right. It wasn't amazing. It was all right. We ended up getting the Cajun fries as our side, and the Cajun fries are crispy and tasty. So it was decent, and we're like, wow. It was interesting because we literally never do this. We never would order like a fried chicken food meal because it's not good for you, you know. But we just went totally in a different direction. We were looking at some of the other meals, and it's like the 12-piece family pack with all this shit. Like, oh my god, 12 pieces of greasy ass fried chicken. That's way too much. You know, we're not gonna do anything like that.
I should also point out that let's take a look here real quick. Because I'm gonna do this real quick. Popeye's menu here. And it's just gonna dox my location. It's just gonna say where the fuck I live. Am I gonna have to worry about this thing telling me where I live? Or is this gonna be like, oh, here's a general menu. Popeyes wants to know your location. No, fuck you. No, we're not. We're not doing that. Please, please, Popeye. I need to see. Okay, so wings. Let's get that off. Okay, so, God damn it. Common meal sandwiches, nuggets. Let's see. Wings. Is there the family meals? There we go. Okay. I think this is an 18-piece wing group pack. Get your choice of 18-piece wings, 1 large side, and 3 dipping sauces. This doesn't mention the what is it? I should take a look here. I'm just gonna put my address. Okay. Let's see what I can get here. Okay. Order now. All right. So if I were to get this family meal, we are going to order the 18-piece wing group pack. This will cost me at the end of it all $20. I want to see what he got, because like it's really hard to find what the fuck he got, because he got like a meal that was like it was basically 18-piece wings and 2 sandwiches. I think they got the sandwiches separately. They ordered like the sandwiches separately, and then they got like the dipping sauce and the fries as a separate thing as well. So he spent like $40 on a meal for 2 people that would feed like 5 people. It's ridiculous. It's straight up like too much food. Like I even have trouble eating just like the regular like 3-piece or 4-piece meal from Popeyes, and I'm like I can put away food pretty well. It's like Jesus Christ, like that's a lot of food. But yeah, so I don't know, man. Let's see.
You do have chicken nuggets, and I've heard people say the chicken nuggets at Popeyes are really, really good, and you get like a bunch of dipping sauces. We're considering maybe in the future trying those, but the chicken wings are okay. They're not amazing. They're not bad. They're just kind of middle of the road for us. Yeah, Haley says try Wingstop or Buffalo Wild Wings. I've been to Buffalo Wild Wings. It's terrible, at least out here. I think it's way overpriced and not good. But people do tell us about Wingstop. You know, you guys have mentioned it. Wingstop. We've never been to it. There is a Wingstop here. We just never went to it because we're not into wings that much. But maybe now we would try it.
Wingstop's good, by the way.
Anyway,
I actually do like Wingstop.
And, I mean, that was
There's only like one near me, and that's like 5 miles away.
Watching someone do a playthrough of Horizon Forbidden West. We just every once in a while we just turn on a random playthrough now just to relax at night. And we watch it for like an hour before we go to sleep. So, that was Phil's day off. Very exciting, as you know. I mean, you guys die to hear that story every week, right? Today is the release of Dragon's Dogma 2, and there's good news and bad news. The good news being that everyone playing it is basically saying the game is superb. Like, it's a huge improvement to the original game from over a decade ago. It has some modernizations, but it still has that feeling of openment and wonder where you explore, and you either can run into awesome stuff or get your ass handed to you because the game doesn't tell you which direction to go, and you can wander into a tough group of enemies that just smack you around. That's exactly how the original game was, by the way. So I'm curious how it's going to go. And I want to see, hopefully, how it translates into a playthrough that you guys will like. But most of the feedback is positive. Where the negative feedback is coming from is the graphical performance and the PC edition. First of all, I'm just going to say this to everyone out there. Once again, this is a case of people need to stop believing that games are always designed for PC. They're not. Capcom is not a PC-centric game developer. They never have been. Most of the time, they're developing for console first, and then they're porting.
Oh, a second. I gotta do something real quick on here. Yeah, I'm just what was it? Yeah, like apparently Phil's talking about the whole thing that's going on, which that happened at GDC this weekend as well. I didn't want to talk about it time much, but it's kind of funny. Apparently at GDC, a bunch of attendees at GDC were out in the middle of the lawn screaming, like actually just screaming. Like, I don't want to show the clip because it's really, really fucking awful. But a bunch of grown ass adults, my age, slightly younger, and also mostly older than me, screaming because one guy one random ass dude from Brazil made a list of games that a company worked on. And they just were screaming for no reason, for just that. It's so stupid. Let's see. But yeah, I was gonna say this about the Capcom thing, that he's right. Like I'm like one of the few people who will like actually try to take Phil at face value and say when he is right and when he is wrong. Most of the time he is wrong. Most of the time he is wrong, and he is incredibly stupid. Obviously, with the whole thing with the Popeyes wings, he's very, very wrong. In this case, he is right. With a Capcom port of a PC game, it's usually hit and miss. The Monster Hunter team usually kills it. Like, without a doubt, the Monster Hunter team is probably the best ones to do it. And apparently the Street Fighter team did pretty well too. But like Capcom games usually like have not like they've had performances on PC before. I think Monster Hunter World had some issues at launch when it came out originally on PC, and then they got it fixed by the time they released Iceborne. I think they released Iceborne later. Sunbreak launched in a good state on PC, but the state of Dragon's Dogma 2 on PC is actually deplorable. It should not have launched in that state at all. I will agree with that one. Street Fighter 6 released in a good state on PC as well. The Resident Evil games released in a good state on PC. I don't know what the fuck happened with Dragon's Dogma that like this team fucked it up that badly with that one in particular. But you know, you can't win them all. You can't win them all. And so it's one of those things where it's like Capcom realizes they fucked up and are rolling out like a date and then rolling out like a patch as soon as they can to like address some of the problems.
To PC, they're not specifically designing games for PC. So usually when a Capcom game comes out, the PC version is inferior. This has been par for the course for a long time for Capcom. Yet here we are, like the 12th time this has happened in a row, and people are like, "Oh, I can't believe the game doesn't run that well on PC, and it has de novo piracy, anti-protection bullshit and everything." It's like this always happens. Like literally always on PC, the Capcom game underperforms. Will they eventually fix it? Probably. They probably will end up patching it and improving it. But
they've already said they're going to patch it. They said they were going to patch it literally like 45 minutes before Phil went live.
Don't get why people still are thinking that the PC version will be the best. Now, from what I'm to understand, graphically, if the game runs on your PC, it runs really well, and that's the best version. When it comes to the console versions, the game runs around 30 frames per second. Now, get this. Now, this is such a rarity. On the PlayStation 5, it tries to run at a steady 30 frames, but actually chugs and goes down to the 20s during combat. On the Xbox Series X, it runs better. It actually runs 40 frames per second during combat, which is like significantly more frames than on the PS5. And why? I don't understand, because this never happens. It's almost always in favor of PS5, this console gen. For some weird reason, it flipped for this particular game. So if you buy the Xbox version, or the Series X version, I should say,
that's still pretty bad. Like, I can like my rig is not the most powerful thing in the world. I'm running on a 2080 Super right now. But I think that like I could get Dragon's Dogma 2 to run pretty well if I lowered the graphics a little bit. If I just like put like optimal settings and move and bump the graphics down to like medium, it would still look good and it would run pretty well. Like that's the thing that Phil doesn't really understand about the PC market is that even though it will not, like, some things will not run at like the best, like out the box with PC, you can adjust things very, very well. With consoles, it's very much of a closed system. You can't adjust things on the fly. You can barely adjust things at all. If you can adjust things, that's a fucking rarity. But with a PC, you can adjust things to make things run on pretty much anything. Like fucking Warframe rolls in a potato and it looks better than most games that come out these days. It's that good. It's that well optimized. Like Digital Extremes actually knows what they're doing in terms of optimization, in terms of making the games look good. Like, and then you have Monster Hunter, which, yeah, Monster Hunter also like looks really good. Pretty much anything that you do to it. It also runs very, very well. It is very well optimized, like on pretty much anything that you run it on. Like I'm running on a 2080 Super, and I can run Monster Hunter, like I can run Monster Hunter World and Monster Hunter Rise at 144 frames per second because my monitor is 144 hertz. It doesn't like have more than that. The frame rate is obviously uncapped, but I cap it at 60 because if I don't, then the stream will suffer and it will stutter a lot. But still, you like PCs are flexible. That's why most people have them, because they are flexible and you can do whatever you want with them.
You're probably going to get a better experience. Now, you might say, now, why isn't it running at 60 frames? I agree with you. I think every freaking game that we buy today should be running at 60 frames. But I talked about this the other day. Sadly, I think the real reason is because all of these game developers are aiming for 4K resolution, which is stupid. I would love some research done, all right, of people who are serious gamers, who buy games and play them to completion. How many people are using a 4K TV or monitor for every game? I would love to hear this feedback. I'm willing to bet, and I'm not shitting you, probably less than a third are actually playing at 4K. Or an even better question, how many people even know what resolution they play on? Because most people these days have everything auto-adjusted, so they don't fucking know what they're doing. They just pump the game in.
Isn't that you? You literally just buy everything for consoles and don't even like really care about what it's running on. You just have it set to whatever, which also means you're running on a frame delay because you haven't set your TV to game mode. Like you're literally running on a frame delay because of the TV that you bought and because you're not running it on like, you know, on an optimized version of itself. And not like you didn't do shit to make your TV run better. Like you could have just gotten a monitor that big. Instead you had to like get like a shitty ass like Sony or whatever for like $800. And you play everything on that, and you wonder why wonder why your reactions are so. Obviously, you also are running things slowly because your brain is that addled. But still, like it's not that like you don't optimize shit. You don't check your things for shit. Like you just put it on there, and it's like if game run. Like you're very very much monkey brained about this shit.
And booty, they probably don't even know what resolution they're watching on. So why are we forcing an entire game industry to pump out a graphical fidelity that most people don't even know they're looking at and don't care? Right? And because of that, our whole game industry is being effed up. We can't even get games running at 60 frames, and yet we're worried about 8K coming out. Who the fuck cares about 8K?
And some people in the chat are saying that he's been like running on 4K, like they were running on 4K 144 for a little while. It's like, okay, yeah. I mean, my monitors are not 4K. I also don't care that much. Like I don't need 4K in order to enjoy things for the most part.
I'm like, but you know it stands for Resident Evil, right? Like they made it for Resident Evil, but I guess technically it's the RE engine. Whatever. Anyway, so this
because they made it originally for Resident Evil, but it's a fucking engine. You can run it for anything. Like do you think like the Unreal, like there are no more Unreal games? Why the hell is the Unreal Engine still around, Phil? Like, yeah, you know the Unreal Engine was used to make Unreal, right?
Probably why the game has frame rate issues as well. You're using a graphical engine that was directly designed by Capcom for Capcom games only. It's their proprietary engine. It's a great engine. I mean, take a look at Resident Evil 7 and 8. Take a look at Street Fighter 6. These games look absolutely superb, right? But take a look at those experiences, right? It's basically a situation where they definitely are, how can I say? It's meant for a on-rails kind of experience. Not to say that Resident Evil 7 or 8 or Resident Evil 4 Remake were on rails, but you understand what I'm saying? Here's your boundaries. You're not going to leave these boundaries during a set period of time. A game like Dragon's Dogma, where it's an open world and you can explore and it's got to render all this shit on the fly, it's not really meant for that. And because of that, what ends up happening is the world tugs along a bit. And that's why the frame rate dipped. So I would think if you're in a dungeon.
No, I think the frame rate just because it just didn't really optimize all that well. Because Monster Hunter, both World was on a of the NET framework, I believe. Monster Hunter World was on the NET framework. Monster Hunter Rise and Sunbreak run on the RE engine, and they run fine. The world doesn't chug. There's like barely any slowdown, especially if you're like on. I think there was some on the Switch, but that's because it was the Switch. If you're playing it on PC, everything runs just fine. Like the world doesn't really chug all that like at all. It's a very smooth experience. Like that's like the same thing that's going to happen with Dragon's Dogma. Like it is an open world experience, but the world does set boundaries. Like what he's saying makes no sense because you could still like run around in a very large environment in Monster Hunter Rise and Sunbreak. Like fucking the Citadel map is fucking huge. Yeah, like that runs on RE engine. It's fine. It's just Dragon's Dogma is for some reason not optimized well.
It probably runs better, and then when you go back to the overworld, it's not as good. What sucks is this game has a huge overworld, just like Dragon's Dogma 1, huge overworld. I get the feeling it's going to suffer a little bit because of that. I'll admit, again, I think every game today should be running at 60 frames. The fact that I'm going to be playing every other video game I'm playing right now at 60 frames, and when I go to play Dragon's Dogma 2, it's going to be going down to 30. It's going to be jarring. It really will. It's going to be like, oh, you know, my eyes, I got to get used to this again. So I definitely feel like perhaps Capcom should have done a little better in the graphical department from what I'm hearing. All right. Now, obviously, I'll make my judgments when I start playing the game today. But outside of that, like no one's complaining about the gameplay. Everyone's saying, yes, the world is great. The gameplay elements are good. The story's pretty good. It's just the graphics that everyone's complaining about. And then on PC, Capcom got that weird de nouveau copyright protection bullshit. It's not copyright protection. It's anti-piracy, right? And I guess a lot of people hate it. I guess it screws with people's PCs. It can make the game crash. It could fuck with other things. And
Denuvo is a resource hog. He doesn't really understand it because he doesn't play
why in the
PC,
holy
but
hell
Denuvo is a
Capcom
resource
put
hog.
into the game? I have
It
no
actually
idea.
makes things chug. It's not necessarily as bad as easy anti-cheat, because easy anti-cheat like actually can like you that can get hacked and you like bad things can happen to your PC as somebody gets into it through easy anti-cheat. But still, Denuvo was pretty bad, and most games removed Denuvo after like about a month into its life cycle.
The last thing that people are kind of freaking out about are microtransactions, because apparently you can buy your way into success in this game. I guess they're called something crystals or something like that, and I guess it's the currency of the game. So you could just sit there dumping money,
RC Rift crystals.
Buy a ton of shit in the game. That's going to make the game way easier. So it is a pay-to-win situation.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
Your cup of tea.
But no, it isn't.
And I'll say this. I've said this before. I'll say it again. It's not a competitive game, so I don't know why people care that much. If it were like pay to win,
okay. So that's the one point. People are caring way too much about this. But the thing is, when he's talking about our Rift crystals, Rift crystals are a piece of income that you get passively by sending out your pawn on missions. And so, like, if you turn the game on and come back like the next day, you will have like thousands upon thousands of Rift crystals in order to do things, whatever you want to do in the game, because your pawn will have gone out and got them for you. Like, that's actually how the Dragon's Dogma currency system works. And that's how it worked in the first game, apparently, too. That, like, the Rift crystals you just get them passively by your pawn going on and doing something when you're offline. And then you just find them in game as well for yourself. Like, there is actually no reason to buy them, ever. At that point, you're just too lazy to play the game yourself if you buy Rift crystals.
Where Street Fighter 6 online, I'd be like, that's complete bullshit. It should be skill-based, not pay to win. If it were Call of Duty and you could buy new weapons no one else could get, so you win online, that's bullshit. This is a single-player RPG experience. It doesn't make sense that people would freak out that there's microtransactions. They're just in there for Capcom to make some more profit for those who wish to spend, but they're not necessary. And everything. Capcom has made it clear, too, because people were in a big uproar overnight about these microtransactions. And Capcom said, just to make it clear, everything you can buy also is available in the game to earn for free, but you have to earn it by playing, whether you find it as loot or, you earn it as a crest reward. It's all available. There's nothing that's purchase exclusive. Okay. So once they say that, I should be, well, here's the one time where I would disagree with it. If they did something like, Lord of the Rings Shadow of War, remember that? Where what they did is they made it that at one point of the game, everything you've done in the game undoes, and you either have to redo it, grinding to do it, and it takes upwards of 15 hours, or you can just pay to skip it by buying your troops back. And I think that was bullshit. That was like, you literally have screwed me. You undid all the work I did in the last 20, 30 hours just to say, waste another 15 to see the ending or pay to win. And by the way, the ending was awful. The ending was super bad of that game. So literally that was pay $15 just to see a shitty cutscene ending that's not very enjoyable at all. So the way I see it, as long as that's not the case, which I'm being told it's not, it's just you buy items in the game that, make the RPG easier. I don't see the problem with the transactional nature of the DLC in this game. This is not a situation like Street Fighter Cross Tekken over a decade ago, where there were characters in the game on the fucking disc, ready to go, and they said, hey, if you want those characters, you have to pay us money, because that's the meta of the game, but, unless you don't pay, then you can't use the characters, and you'll never play it competitively. Like, that was the worst case ever for Capcom, in my opinion, when it comes to DLC. In this case, you're just getting the items earlier that you can earn in the game anyway, so I don't really see the problem. But anyway, I guess we'll see what happens in regards to this, okay? As I play, I'm sure I'll have commentary on it as well. We'll probably check out the store and laugh at how ridiculous it is, right?
It's only a Steam store thing as far as I know. I'm not sure if it's in the console version of the game.
You guys all day long. And like I said, once we finish with Baldur's Gate 3 and Like a Dragon, which hopefully both we can finish this week. If not, we're so close, we're finishing it the first week of April by far. There's no way it's going to be longer than that. Then we can fully focus on this as a playthrough, which I'm stoked. I really liked the first one. The first one I felt had some flaws, but I really liked it. And the fact that we're going to do this interactively this time, instead of me just sitting around playing it by myself, I think it's going to make it a better experience. I hope it doesn't suffer from people come for 1 or 2 streams and they never come back, which is what happened with Final Fantasy VII. I played it for 2 streams and people liked it, and then after that it was like no one cared. And the game was dead every time I played it. I want to bring back Final Fantasy VII, but I don't even know how many people will come back for it. We'll have to see. But anyway, I'm excited. I hope you guys will join me all day today, and we'll go from there. Okay? Cool. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, and everyone.
Oh yeah, here we go. He's gonna shit on Kotaku.
It's time for.
He's gonna shit on Kotaku.
And we've got a ton of news to talk about today. All right.
God,
first of all, the biggest news of all, Larian Studios, the maker of Baldur's Gate 3, made a major announcement. They have come out and said, we are not making DLC for Baldur's Gate 3. We're not even making Baldur's Gate 4. In fact, we're never making a D&D game ever again. We've decided that we just want to do our own thing. What the? It's like a punch to the face. Boom. What? You literally just made the best game of the year. A game that other game devs are complaining about because they're jealous of you. and what you made. They're upset that people may have expectations that moving forward, all RPGs would have to live up to what you just made. And now you're deciding you just don't want to make the game, no DLC, no sequel, nothing. Holy shit. Now, some people are surmising what this means is that they may go back to, say, Divinity, which was the game they made before this, Divinity Original Sin 2. I'm going to be honest, if that's the case, I hope that it keeps the production values that they had in Baldur's Gate 3, because I played Divinity, and I got about 60 hours in, and I couldn't proceed.
I'm watching something else in the background because I can't stand Phil right now. I'm watching the I'm Han Solo version of the Solo Star Wars movie trailer.
And everything, when Divinity didn't have any of that, right? So, hopefully, whatever they do next ends up being good. But the thing is, people were completely godsmacked by this. They were like, what? We were so hoping that because it did so well that you were going to make more, because we loved seeing D&D come out this way. And now, I mean, D&D, man, they're fucked. First, they had a movie, right? What was it? Like Honor Among Thieves? The movie was absolutely outstanding, and apparently it tanked at the box office, and no one saw it. That movie is superb. If you didn't see the Honor Among Thieves movie, I strongly recommend it. It's got an excellent cast, a well-written plot, and it takes fantasy elements and makes them fun for a modern audience. I can't believe so many people didn't see the movie. It's that good. And now here they go. Game of the Year is a D&D game. Oh, by the way, the game developers drop it out and not make it anymore. So now it's like D&D is left holding their own bag. They have their IP, but who do you give it to next? Because you think anyone's going to live up to the expectations that now Larian has created for if they make a Baldur's Gate 4? They're kind of fucked. So that kind of sucks for anyone who likes D&D.
All right, turn off this. What the fuck are you saying?
Insane amount of effort trying to learn the lore of Baldur's Gate 3. Well, you probably just wasted your time, because there ain't no Baldur's Gate 4 from Larian, which means the next one will probably suck, and you probably wasted your time learning all that shit. It's sad, man. Because hey, listen, I'm one of them. I'm almost 130 hours into my playthrough.
You didn't care about anything in Baldur's Gate 3, though. You literally had to have everything explained to you, and you barely understand a goddamn thing. Like, and even then, Baldur's Gate 3, from what I've been told, Baldur's Gate 3 is very much divorced from Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. Like, the only real connection to it is the fact that they're all three games are in, like, this Forgotten Realm setting of Baldur's Gate. That's it. Like, literally, that's it. Other than that, like, Baldur's Gate 3 is its own thing, and it basically should just be called Divinity Original Sin 3, because it has nothing to do with the first two games, other than like a few recurring characters like Minsk. Other than that, it's just like its own thing, and it barely like has anything to do with what's going on in the first two. The first two had to do with something like has something more to do with something called the Cult of Baal, and the Cult of Baal is basically a murder cult, and you spend most of the game dealing with all of that stuff and dealing with Baal's plans. And that's actually like a pretty well connected plot. Baldur's Gate 3 has nothing to do with any of that. Like it's barely mentioned, and it's just kind of stupid. But yeah, it's like, oh, you spend all this time learning the lore or whatever. It's like, yeah, because most people are happy that Larian is going back to doing their own thing. Then they're not going to be tied down to Wizards of the Coast.
If you're trying to finish it, I learned so much lore about D&D that I'll probably never use again ever in my whole lifetime. So, wow, what a great investment of time that was, huh?
You could play Neverwinter Nights. You could play the other two Baldur's Gate games. You could play, well, Planescape Torment is, I don't think is a D&D property. I don't think it takes place in that. Like, Planescape Torment is something else. You could play Icewind Dale. You could play, I don't know, like there's a bunch of other D&D games or other games that use like D&D shit in it. It's like I learned a bunch of D&D lore. You learned fucking nothing.
Hold on one second. I gotta blow my nose, so I'm just pausing the recording for a second, everybody.
Jesus Christ, just fucking get up and blow your nose. You don't need to you don't need to say things. You just yeah, I'm getting up.
All right, here we go. Excuse me. Oh, this is a good story. Let's continue. Okay, everybody, continuing on with the news. Our next story is pretty interesting. It's about Destiny 2. And for those who don't know, because you don't follow Destiny 2, well, I don't blame you, because a lot of people don't anymore. A lot of people have fallen off of this game. It still does have a pretty big community that follows it, though, all right? And a few days ago, they were doing this presentation over the internet on stage. They were on a stage presenting new content and stuff like that. And while they were doing this, I guess they were actually running Destiny 2, the client on PC on stage. And so some people found out that you could troll them by sending them like Steam invites or something like that. Like I guess they hadn't turned off the pop-ups for this. And they started sending them Steam invites with racist stuff, like the N-word and stuff like that. Okay, so literally they're trying to do a professional.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I gotta.
Too, and they've got
My phone started going. I keep forgetting to change that ringtone from Cali. I want it to be the level up theme from what is it? What is it? The level up theme from Shin Megami Tensei 5.
And they've got racist stuff all over the stream. So
do I really care about people trolling the Destiny 2 developers? Do I really care about people trolling Bungie? I really don't. Let's skip.
The players who sent them those harmful notifications. So they, I mean, as stupid, silly, they're supposed to be a top do that on their professional stream to that.
Come on. What's he talk? What are you fucking clown moding?
So you're telling me that the brand new IP from Bethesda that was supposed to be the new flagship title that everyone was going to care about.
Do I have this on my soundboard? I don't know if I have this on my soundboard. Let me see if I have this up.
The new Fallout. Okay. They didn't write the fucking ending. They literally were making the game and just flying by the seat of their pants and didn't know how it was going to end. I mean,
I do not have this on my
Star Wars
soundboard.
Trilogy much? How stupid can you be to have your flagship title that's supposed to bring your company back to prominence after very...
I do have this.
Is this how you honor the sixth house and the tribe unmourned?
Decade, right? How do you not have an ending? Don't even make the game until you have a complete story, right? Write the story, finish the story, then make the game. Don't fucking write the story as you're making the game and then fuck up the ending. Now, spoiler alert, because obviously an article like this has to cover the ending. So if you have not beaten Starfield or watched someone beat Starfield and you wish to be like surprised at it,
let's get the Starfield talk.
Shen adding that a large spread out team can sometimes lead to a silo effect in which every department is scrambling for resources and saying no to collaboration requests. Take it. Ultimately, Shen went to Starfield lead level designer Steve.
Oh, it's more Starfield talk. God damn it! Where the fuck is this?
Heads, and they just
what is it? What does Super Chat say? By the way, there's a specific cats in your chat. But the fuck people, the Viking cat's gonna win again.
Dollars of this game, right? The budget was huge for Starfield.
What the fuck? Stop talking about Starfield.
It would take a couple days, but I get it done. 4 months for a chair. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't work. And obviously, it's just a problem with these AAA game devs. They've gotten too big. They've gotten too convoluted. They don't even have like a set work path of how to get anything done. So everyone's just confused, and then the game sucks. Well, Bethesda, it's time to fix that. Seriously, like, if this is the case, and if they're now working on the next Elder Scrolls, and they got 500 people working on the next Elder Scrolls, they got to fucking stop. Really, they just have to stop with the bullshit. Enough with the convoluted nonsense. And, what I really got to ask is, what happened to Todd Howard, right? Because if you actually look at Todd Howard, and you hear he's done some interviews and things over the years, talking about his history, and he's like, yeah, so for the original Elder Scrolls game we made, we had this many people, and then we were able to expand for the next one and the next one. So he's the one manning the helm. Why is he running the ship into the shoals, right? What is this guy doing? It just drives me nuts. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't get it.
They aren't even quadruple. Oh yeah, the first quadruple A game.
Oh, man, Bethesda.
The first quadruple A Strand type game.
Now it's like, oh, Bethesda. It's going to take them forever to have a new game. When it comes out, it's probably going to suck. It's going to be way underperformed.
Okay, so yeah, I will talk about the Todd Howard shit just briefly, because it is kind of weird and a little bit disappointing, because I feel that Todd Howard got into something that he really, really didn't want to get into, and after taking the helm, he basically got there's something in corporate talk, in corporate employment called the Peter Principle. Where basically you get promoted to you're really, really good at your job, but then you get promoted to a point where you can no longer do the job that you were good at. And the job that you are now working is something that you are not good at, but you're basically stuck there. That's the Peter Principle, basically getting kicked upstairs. I think that's what happened to Todd Howard, because Todd Howard originally was a project lead. He worked at Bethesda for a very, very long time. And his biggest claim to fame is a game that is most universally loved by, it's just universally loved. And one of the things that people look back to Bethesda and say, yeah, that was the best game that they ever made. And that would be Morrowind. Todd Howard was one of the project leads on Morrowind. After that, he became like the studio director or whatever. Like he became like after the success of Morrowind, Todd Howard basically became like the big guy over at Bethesda. And then we got Oblivion, and Oblivion was hot trash. After that, we got Skyrim, and Skyrim is, despite what a lot of people say about it, is also hot trash. And Fallout 3, Fallout 4. I don't want to say New Vegas because New Vegas was Black Isle / Obsidian, and that was actually the good one. They were just using the engine that was provided by Bethesda. They were using Bethesda's resources for that one, and they did what they could, and it turned out to be the best Fallout game. And then they also had Fallout 76, and then Starfield. So ever since Todd Howard basically became the head of the company, things went downhill because Todd Howard is not really designed for that. Todd Howard is not geared to do that kind of thing. He was better when he was like, he was leading the teams over to do other things, which is why Morrowind turned out as good as it did. Partially because of him, but there are also other people working alongside him to make that game really, really good. And then things got worse as he got promoted. So that's kind of a weird thing about him. And yeah, he used to be a coder. He does barely any coding these days at all. He said as much. He just he's not a coder anymore. He's like the spokesperson. He's the company president.
It's it's not going to live up to expectations. The ending, for the record, the ending of Starfield is atrociously bad. It was one of the worst contrived endings I've ever heard, and it's a cop out because basically it makes everything you've done in the game up to that point meaningless. In essence, if you don't play Starfield, you've had exactly the same experience as if you've played Starfield, and that's a bad thing. They're morons. That you can tell that ending wasn't tested.
The ending of Starfield is that you restart the game. That's actually what it is. Like it's not even that like really like a big of a deal. You get the ending of Starfield is you get to like whatever it is, you assemble the thing that you're supposed to assemble over the course of your journey, and then you go into like the singularity or some bullshit, and then you restart the game. That's actually the ending of Starfield. You restart the game, but now you're something called a Starborn, which means you're now this like immortal being that exists outside of time and can experience events again and again differently to experience different outcomes. It's literally just like you're stuck in a time loop at the end of the game, and that justifies the game having like replay value. Is that like in story you are the same person replaying the same events but with different outcomes, and there's some slight changes on your loops. It sounds okay on paper, but for a game like Starfield, it just doesn't fucking work. Like it's a decent idea, and I know a lot of roguelikes actually do that as well, where it's like you are literally the same person experiencing these events again and again, but you're also like trying to find a way out of the loop, or you're doing other things differently in the loop in order to get out of it. I'm trying to think of ones that are like that, where the roguelike is like a memory, or like Returnal is probably the biggest one that comes to mind with that. With you're trying to find a way off of the planet by experiencing, by dying and going back to life every time and doing the same things again and again on the planet. Yeah, I was about to say Returnal. Returnal does that. And also Returnal is great. I love Returnal. Like I haven't gone back to Returnal, obviously, but I still view that as like that game was so fucking good. Like I just don't feel like I need to play the latter half of the game, like because the first half was just that good. Like I got to like the main boss the first time, and now like I had to do the latter half. Apparently the latter half is not as good, but it's good. It's a really good game. It's really, really good. I don't know what the team will do after Returnal, but I hope they do something. It's good. It's good. Trying to think of other games that have like that sort of time loop thing going on, where you're just trying to escape the loop and just doing the things over and over and over again. Because like I know like well no, like I was gonna say Hades, but Hades is like you experience the same thing, but it's obvious you're progressing. Because they always like you're welcome back to the House of Hades. Have a Nice Death is the same way, where you're always going back to your office after you lose. Even after you get to the end, you go back to your office. I did beat Have a Nice Death once. I got to the first ending, and again, that game is really good too. I don't know. There's a bunch. Dead Cells, no, not really, because it's still progressing. There's a lot of things where it's like you're just constantly progressing, but like very few of them actually do like the time loop thing. I don't know. Maybe Binding of Isaac is like another one I can think of that does the time loop.
Like they have the system, and they had the world in their hands, at one point, and now they're just giving it away. Here, give all the credit. Larian,
I'm running to the
surpasses
bathroom
them.
real quick, but I'm still going to be listening to it because I
Dragon
have
surpassed them,
wireless
and they're a big
headphones.
flounder
But I'm
in
going to run to the
cyberpunk,
bathroom
but they're
very, very
probably
quickly.
gonna
I'll
get
be
it
right
back.
back.
They come out with a good game now, where people are going to look to these other companies for their epic RPG experiences, and Bethesda's just going to be left in the dust. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, continuing on, there's one other big story to cover, all right? And this one is in regards to a little journalistic company called Kotaku. Now, for those of you who don't know, Kotaku is a website that covers game news. Or do they? Because they did at one point, and then in the last couple of years, Kotaku has flipped to become an incredibly ridiculous leftist-leaning journalistic site that really politicizes things in gaming and also literally says some of the dumbest takes ever in gaming just for clickbait. Like, they'll have articles that are just so dumb that you know, you're like, this is a joke. This is like The Onion writing this article, right? This is a parody of an article. But then you look, no, it's actually real. It's really on their site. They actually published it as a story, you know? Just some of the most ridiculous stuff ever. And a lot of people will say, like, they'll try to make an issue out of something, and then literally everyone else on the planet will read the article and be like, that's not an issue. Why did they even publish this? It's a joke. So what's ended up happening is they went from being kind of a respected journalistic website to, for over the last 2 years or so, just a running joke of the internet. Like, everyone says, oh, Kotaku again, another fucking stupid, overly left-leaning article complaining about something, politicizing something, and you just know when you read their shit, it's exactly what it is. It's like a turd on a web page. Like, there's no reason to ever go there, okay? So what ended up happening is they tanked. This last 2 years, all of their attention has gone away, and everyone's just constantly making fun of them, so all their traffic on their site has tanked. They're not making as much money as they used to on ad revenue and things like that, which they need to survive. So here's what happened, okay? The management, meaning the people who own Kotaku, came down on them this week and said, what you're doing isn't working. Everyone hates you. You've got to now become a gaming website again. So starting this week, you have to pump out 50 game guides. Yes, they actually made an edict. You have to make 50 game guides in 1 week and have those on your site to drive traffic to the site that's related to actual games. Because what you're doing isn't working. It's not gaming related. It's trash. And we need people to actually come to the site now. Immediately, the head editor, what's her name? Kotaku editor-in-chief Jen Glennon resigned immediately, saying, oh, I don't like this management team's new strategy, okay? Now, there's basically two different schools of thought on this. Some people are basically saying that this is awful, and here's why. Here's one take. This is from a Nathan Grayson. He says, Geo Media, that's the name of the company that owns Kotaku, is effectively forcing Kotaku to pivot away from news, lie, they weren't covering news, and demanding that its staff of 7 writers will now churn out an impossible number of guides per week. That's not what writers signed up for, and not why people visit Kotaku in the first place. This is straight up stupid and cruel. Okay? And here's what one of the employees actually said on Twitter. You know what? Fuck it. Here's a small cup of tea.
Back.
Management here doesn't even care about the quality of the guides we make. They want us to aggregate them from other sites like a literal content mill, and went on to basically said, we're just going to use AI to do it. We're not even going to do it ourselves. We're not going to work. We're going to go to AI, and we're going to tell AI, make an aggregate review, and we're just going to put it on the site.
Okay. I said this before. To give some examples of what the guide in question would look like is we already have sites that do this. I'm going to go to Games Radar. Games Radar has a lot of, let's see. Games Reviews guides. Okay, let's look at some guides. Okay. How in the fuck is this a guide? I'm going to show this on screen. No, get out of here, Phil. So this is what Kotaku wants, basically. They want them to be like other aggregate journal sites. In this case, we're looking at Games Radar. You could look at Game Rant, Game 8. The Gamer is another one they could look at for the same thing. How saving your game works in Dragon's Dogma 2 is a guide. And it is like written by somebody named Will Sawyer. I doubt he wrote any of this stuff. Let's actually read this out loud because I want to see how much they actually use SEO terminology in order to get clicks to drive stuff, because you could tell when it happens. Saving in Dragon's Dogma 2 is largely handled automatically through autosaves and resting at ends, but there are options for manual saves too. However, it gets a bit confusing when you try to reload a save, as there are 2 different options that limit your ability to scrub back if you made a mistake. It's called scum, not scrub, or want to change a choice. They both got their limitations. You definitely need to be aware of. Otherwise, there's potentially several hours of progress in Dragon's Dogma 2. You don't need to mention the game again. We already know what game you're talking about. In Dragon's Dogma 2, you get one type of save file that's constantly being overwritten by different saves, different types of games. You want to start a new game, there are no options. You'll need to either delete your you'll need to delete your Dragon's Dogma 2 save in order to do so. Again, we don't need to mention the game this many times. Autosaves happen periodically, showing a glowing red ring at the door top. This usually happens. Manual saves are functionally the same. And then also telling you how to save. Let's type of save how to reload your save in Dragon's Dogma 2. This means you can have one regular save and one in rest to reload to at a time while playing Dragon's Dogma 2. Let's see. Because the way the saving system works in Dragon's Dogma 2, see, crystally, but you get the gist. The fact that they mentioned Dragon's Dogma 2 in this article about Dragon's Dogma 2 and the saving system, like 10 times. What game is this for? What game is this for? Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. Actually, do they have do I tempt fate? Do I tempt fate? I don't know if I can search. Let's see. Like, I can't believe they don't know how to say that. Let's see. Let's see if I can let's see. 14 Crash Team Racing tips to become the best at Nitro Fueled. Okay. Also, yeah, for the most part, they will actually, if you look at some of these articles, they are written in a very, very specific way to maximize SEO. The ways that you can maximize SEO in these things, and I bear in mind, I do not have any education in SEO. I just call it as I sees it. Is you mentioned the thing that you were talking about several times in the publication. This makes it appear like higher up on the list when looking through things on Google. You also mentioned the audience that you were catering to several times: players, fans, readers, whatever it is, viewers. You mentioned those kinds of things several times. Like, I've read articles like, it's like Monster Hunter fans will like to do this kind of thing in Monster Hunter Rise. You know what it reads like? It reads like a Rage gaming video description. Which, let's do that real quick too. Let's see. I'm just gonna go to I'm just gonna go to Josh's channel and pick a random video. Let's look at the most okay, this is a video by Hollow. This is a video by Hollow, which I'm not showing the video on screen. We're just looking at Phil's ugly mug here. Okay, so yeah, we're looking at so Hollow did a video called Dragon's Dogma 2, how to unlock all vocations at level 1 early and fast. Vocation location guide. Simple enough. It's a 15-minute video showing where to get all the vocations so you could, customize your characters to maximize as quickly as possible in Dragon's Dogma 2. The description of the video. Hashtag Dragon's Dogma 2 vocation unlock and vocation guide. Hashtags defined. Unlock your favorite vocation right straight away in Dragon's Dogma 2. Enjoy. Okay, I have a problem with this line because it is overly British. And then you have the Patreon link, their personal merch store, which is called Hunters 3, their Discord link, and then the description, the stuff below the fold. Monster Hunter is on pause as head into Dragon's Dogma 2 with Dragon's Dogma 2 gameplay release date confirmed March 2024. Dragon's Dogma 2 new trailer. Dragon's Dogma 2 all classes, vocations, skills, new pawn story, Dragon's Dogma 2 first impressions, new pawns, new boss monster, Dragon's Dogma 2 character creator tool demo, Dragon's Dogma 2 everything we know, Dragon's Dogma 2 thief, mage fighter, archer, mystic, spearhead, trickster, wayfarer, sorcerer, warrior, magic archer, all skills gameplay guide, Dragon's Dogma 2 best meister, ultimate skill stats, XP, discipline points, DCP, Dragon's Dogma 2 hybrid vocation, advanced vocation, locations, vocation unlock how guide. Hashtag Dragon's Dogma 2. Hashtag Dragon's Dogma 2 vocation unlock. Hashtag vocation guide. Hashtag Dragon's Dogma 2 vocation guide. Hashtag Dragon's Dogma 2 vocation. Hashtag guide. Hashtag Dragon's Dogma 2 vocation locations. Hashtag gameplay. Hashtag vocation guide. Subscribe. There's a subscribe link for more gaming content and read the description to fulfill is misspelled your dreams. And then the thumbnail artist credits, their Twitter link, their Facebook link. their Steam group, their Twitch link, their Reddit link, Josh's business email, Redbubble t-shirt link. I'm Josh with Cotton and Hollow. Josh is not here. This is just Hollow. This is just Hollow here. We make funny things, we make useful things, and we end up in many improbable situations. If you got this far in the description, you are an intrepid explorer of boxes, and I approve you as a comrade in curiosity. So join me in this adventure as we make multitudes of majorly magnificent videos as we be excessively vast and have a good time. Thanks for watching and reading. Give yourself a cookie. Okay, that's actually kind of cute. I'm fine with that, but not the whole SEO bullshit that they have. The SEO word salad in the middle of their thing of all this shit in order like, you know, to get higher in the algorithm. Like, I understand why they have to do it, but it's just so fucking obnoxious. Anyway, let's read this. Use these Crash Team Racing tests to help you beat the competition in this fancy new remaster of the classic kart racer. In Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, you'll be able to play a combination of the original Crash Team Racing and Crash Nitro Kart with lots of graphical enhancements. It's also stayed true to the original with all lovable characters, familiar tracks, and then some. You'll also be familiar with its unforgiving nature, so take these Crash Team Racing tests and race your way to beating N-Oxide and Entropy. Hold accelerator split second. Hold accelerator split second before the green light for a speed boost. Like most kart races, you get a speed boost at the start of every race if you time it right. You're aiming to get the meter in the bottom right, usually used for power slides, to hit the maximum right as the light turns green. Don't wait until that happens though, because you'll be too late. You'll need to accelerate about half a second before it turns green in order to leave your fellow racers in dust. Entropy isn't even the story unless they're talking about the time trials. They probably are. They're probably making a point to say, yeah, you want to beat Entropy and N-Oxide. If you're not power sliding, you're racing wrong. The way I had taught speeds at Crash Team Racing is by power sliding at every possible opportunity. Doing it around corners is obvious, but if you can't maintain the boost during long straights, you need to slalom your way into the next corner by power sliding and hitting the boost. Power sliding in Crash Team Racing, how many times did they mention Crash Team Racing, is much more technical than it seems. There's 2 buttons you'll have assigned to the same button. Those 2 buttons you'll have assigned to the same button. What? Hold down 1 to hop and then pull left or right and on the analyzer to start power sliding. In the bottom right, the same meter used for the initial speed boost mentioned above will fill up. And you want to press the power slide button right before the meter peaks for the first speed boost. Doing this 3 times in a row during the same power slide will give you a maximum boost possible. You also tell when you're about to hit top speeds by the size of your exhaust flames. If they're as big as they are when you cross the boost pad, you're at maximum speed. Make sure you don't hit a wall though, and you'll reset to normal speed. Okay, I'm not going to read all of these, but I'm going to read just the actual headliner tips. And I'm going to read the headliner tips and see if there's a mention of Crash Team Racing in the actual like text. Beakers can be thrown forwards and bombs can be sent behind you. One mention of the title. If you're in the lead, hold on to your beakers, bombs, and what? If you're in the lead, hold on to your beakers, bombs, and bombs. I think they meant missiles. Or it was like, yeah, hang on to bombs or crates you pick. I think I meant crates or something. Basically missile blockers. One mention of Crash Team Racing. Probably TNT, yeah. Yeah, probably like crates. But yeah, one mention of Crash Team Racing in there, so yeah. Explode bombs before they collide by pressing circle. I actually didn't know you could manually detonate bombs. Skip the weapon roulette by pressing circle as soon as you pick up a power-up. Wumpa fruit makes your weapons more potent. That was actually you need like how many Wumpa fruits do you need? Like 10 or something like that? You need like how many Wumpa fruits do you need to like to get like upgrade your weapon? I forget what it is. 10, yeah. Okay. Stay in front. Very useful to do early, exactly, yeah. Stay in front of bosses to avoid their constant power-ups. Yes. Being in first place during a boss battle is key to beating the boss battle. Gain more boosts by getting longer airtime. Okay, that's actually kind of useful words. Like, you want to stay in the air as long as possible to get a bigger boost when landing. Use the... Okay, this actually is... I think we watched some of Phil's This Is How You Don't Play of CTR. Use the handbrake when necessary. Whereas, like, if you're doing a really, really tight corner, you want to manually brake. Yeah, that's something that like a lot of racing games really don't teach you to do, especially kart racers. Like, they really just like, hold accelerate the entire time. It's like, yeah, but in CTR, you do not want to do that. You actually want to, like, hit those tight corners by using the manual brake. Utilize all the shortcuts on every track. Okay. Jump the gap from ice to snow on Polar Pass and Blizzard Bluff. That is oddly specific. Save Wumpa coins for characters in the pit stop. Like, how is this a tip? How is this a tip? I also forget if I sold my copy of CTR because I was done playing it and I don't have online to play it again. I don't know exactly what shortcuts are talking about. Yeah. But it's like, yeah, how is this a tip? Like, yeah, here's a tip. Buy characters you like from the rotating, like, character shop. And then, what is it? 14. Cheats changed some of the game rules. Like, yes, that's what a cheat code is. Characters are cosmetic now anyway. Yeah, they are. How to get 101% in Crash Team Racing. A prototype for the unreleased and unannounced Crash vs. Spyro Racing has been found and preserved online. And yeah, like that's basically all the audio. And then we have the actual Nitro Feud review from like 5 years ago. Gold time $20 for 101. Yeah, let's see what it say here. How long is this article? Let's see. How to get 101%. In order to be the very best and get Crash Team Racing 100%, 101%, you need to make sure you got 100% in Adventure Mode by completing the following: beat all the bosses, beat all the CTR challenges, beat all the Relic challenges, beat all the Crystal challenges, beat all the Gem Cups, and beat Nitros twice. Once you've done all this, you should be at 100%. Now to earn 101, you need to tackle the Relic challenges again to ensure you get at least the Gold Relic in each of them. This will earn you 101, and you're one step closer to being best of best. But what about 1 or 2? Go back to all the Relic challenges, and this time you have to earn the Platinum Relic in each one, and then you get CTR 1 or 2%. Okay. Like, literally, like, here's the thing. That's not that bad of advice, and if somebody's actually looking like, how do I get like like full completion on a game like this? That's actually pretty useful. But why does this need its own webpage? It literally is like 4 paragraphs and like 2 pictures. Like it doesn't need its own webpage. But yeah, the reason I was pointing this out is because these are the kind of guys that Geo Media is expecting Kotaku to write. Like these little fluff piece guides that really don't do anything and don't help anybody. This is what Geo Media is expecting Kotaku to write, which I can understand is a bit frustrating, especially since Kotaku apparently only has 7 full-time staff and a bunch of freelance writers for them. But at the same time, like, fucking deal with it. And the fact that their EIC quit over this is just like a baby moment.
So literally, an employee at Kotaku posted on Twitter saying, I'm just going to plagiarize. And they said this publicly. I want you to think about this. This is supposed to be a major journalistic website that people go to for game news and trust them for true game news, outright admitting, I'm just going to plagiarize my work from here on out. They publicly said it. Anyway, I get the feeling this is it. I really believe what's happened is, here's the deal. At one point, Kotaku was a legit website about games. It was. I remember years ago, there were some good articles over there, but every once in a while, you get the oddball article that was definitely weird and political and leftist leaning, and you kind of like, all right, it's 1 every 20. So, all right, we'll let it pass or whatever. But then all of a sudden, they changed for the worse and became just a 100% schlock site. And as they became more and more schlocky, people just made them the running joke of games journalism. Oh, well, it's Kotaku's take, here we go again, right? I don't know how they thought they were going to survive doing this. I almost feel like they thought they were like the rebels of gaming journalism, but they never bothered to ask if anyone wanted that content. And the answer is no one does. Like, literally, even leftist-leaning people don't want to read Kotaku articles. You know what I mean? Like, no one's looking for this baity content. That's really what it is. It's always baiting a reaction, baiting some kind of a,
I'm gonna speed him up. I'm gonna speed him up. I don't have to deal with it. Is he picking up his fucking cat?
I don't know how long they thought they were gonna last doing that. And I just find it hilarious that like the editor like immediately quits when told you gotta do gaming content now. It's like it's journalistic integrity. No. It's a gaming website. It always was. That's the inception of the site, was that it was going to be a gaming website. So if you took a job at a gaming website and you refused to actually write articles about the games out there, but instead all you did was make political schlock and no one likes it, how did you think this was going to proceed? Like, did you not understand that there's like cause and effect in life? Like, you don't make content people want. People move away from your site. It's not making money anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, how did you think you would continue with your employment? You have to make money to get paid.
I find this really fucking ironic because he complains that people don't watch him anymore. It's like, you don't make content people want. Yeah, Phil, that's like you. You don't make content people want. Therefore, people let you in the dust. The only people who watch your content are people who are fucking insane like me, who like to make fun of you.
That's like they don't understand how business works. Maybe it's true. Maybe the people who write for Kotaku are these idiotic morons who went to these fucking stupid universities, you know, where they just get by, you know, bare minimum, probably got C's and D's in their fucking classes, but still passed, and their rich mommies and daddies paid their way through the college, and now they think just because they have a degree, they're entitled to a job, so they...
This is you. This is legitimately you. You went to, like, college. I'm gonna guess you barely fucking passed because you're a fucking moron, and then your dad got you a job at Sikorsky. That's legitimately what happened. Your dad, you got hired because of nepotism. You are actually you're actually like a nepo baby. That's exactly what you fucking are. And then when your dad resigned, your ass got kicked to the curb because Sikorsky didn't want to deal with you anymore. And then you complain, it's like, oh, I did all this extra work because I got like this A certification. Everybody clapped or whatever. You literally got a certification that means fucking nothing. That's like getting a safe serve food certification for working at fucking McDonald's. Yeah, you need it to do your goddamn job. Like, it's just so fucking stupid about this. Like, yeah, he's projecting real hard here.
I think they're just going to jump into some fucking cushy job where they can just fuck around and do whatever they want and not actually do any work, and somehow magically for the rest...
Yeah, I forget what ACE actually stood for. It's like achievements is something excellence. It's what ACE stands for, and it's literally like one of those like I don't know. CTR, I know you are significantly younger than myself. You're about my cousin's age, actually. But I'm pretty sure you've held down a job at some point, and in order to do your job, you needed maybe some sort of certification or some sort of like thing in order to, you never had a job? Okay. But you understand the idea of a job where it's like, if you like work at like a grocery store or whatever, you need to like be trained into like, you know, how to handle cash transactions or how to handle like the credit card machine. And by the time you're done with that training, you get like a certification for something like that. Like I actually, because I worked at like for a time I worked at like not a gas station. I did work at a gas station, but it's something different. I worked as like I had to go through like safe handling of food because I worked at like a convenience store where fresh food was made. So because of that, I had to go through like, and they have you go through like the little training program. It's like 2 hours of training, and then after that they have like your certification on file in like a binder saying that you are certified in order to safely handle food. Like that's all it is. Like I have a cousin that works in like a deli, and he probably has the same thing. It's something that you get as part of working your job. Didn't know there was a certification, but yes, I understand that the new employees need to be trained as well as being trained when new things are implemented. Yeah. The one thing I'm specifically referring to is like fast food. Because like if you look at like any sort of fast food listing on Indeed, and I would show you an Indeed page about that kind of thing, but that would actually dox me. So we are not going to look at things about that. They say like if you are it's called like Safe Serve certified or something like that. And it's like, and if you're not Safe Serve certified, you will get training for it to be Safe Serve certified. And Safe Serve is like this umbrella universal sort of like food prep certification that's like, yes, I can handle food, I know how to handle food, and I know like, you know, how to handle like how to do everything in a sanitary way. I know like best handling and sanitation practices to like, you know, work around this kind of thing, and what happens if something happens that will get like in the event of contamination, like that kind of thing. Like you need, it's like, it is very, very specific training, but it's like brain dead training. It's like, yeah, like it's training like wash your hands. Like that's literally what the training is. Like use the tools available to you to handle the food. Like wear gloves, wear a hat. If you have facial hair, wear like a beard net. Wash your hands with soap and water. Like that's actually what the training is. Let's say make sure you're washing your hands. That's actually what the training is. And then like, you know, once you're done, it's like, okay, you are safe serve certified. It's like one of those things where like if the health inspector comes by, they want to make sure all the employees have basically been trained properly to do the job that they are being paid to do. It's that kind of thing. Some like even then like so Phil got like achieving a certified excellence or something like that is the ACE certification or whatever, the degree that he got, which is not the degree but the ACE certification is basically like one of those participation awards for basically completing on the job training, and he holds that up as being like a big deal. And it's like, no, it's not. It's literally something they give everybody. It's literally something that they give everybody. He's like, yeah. I'm going to guess he's going to make this about himself being laid off from the helicopter company, which is Sikorsky.
Rest of their life, money's just going to keep falling into their laps. That's not how life works. I hate to say it. It seems like modern America seems to think that. That's not how life works, okay? A lot of times in life, you got to bust your ass. You actually have to work hard. You actually have to do things you don't like to earn a living. I know because I did it for most of my life until I became a YouTuber, and now I got lucky enough to do what I love for a job. But the rest of it...
You beg! You actually hate the games that you play, and you beg. You don't work. You beg. You're a fucking panhandler with an internet connection. That's all you are. But yeah, I knew he was going to turn this about himself. I'm like, I used to work jobs that I didn't like. Yeah, you worked for Sikorsky and you were a shit worker. Phil got fired for nearly every job that he had, by the way. Like, he really did.
Everyone else has to bust their fucking asses. I guess these people just grew up, you know, pampered, probably spoiled. And, oh, I'm the lead editor. I'm angry now because we have to make game content again. Well, then fuck yourself. Good job. Good luck getting another job. Because no one in any journal in integrity is something in journalism. And if you don't want to have any integrity and you're putting out junk after junk after junk, who's going to hire you again? Right? I certainly hope that, you know, maybe you're going to go work at a florist or, you know, go work at a restaurant, serving tables or something, because no one's going to want you in the journalistic world again after this job, the way that you've behaved. And these people, can you imagine making that tweet on Twitter? I'm so upset that they want us to make these guides. I'm literally going to use AI and just admitting publicly you're going to plagiarize your work from now on. That's the people who work there. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, wow. But anyway, Kotaku's falling apart at the seams, and to say that most of the internet isn't happy about it would be a gross misstatement. People are basically going crazy about how they're happy about this. Now, here's the thing. I'm not happy about people losing their jobs. I wish that what could have happened was there would have been more of a level-headed discussion about this. It sounds like there was just a giant edict, and it was change. Now, you're being forced to tough shit. And if you don't like it, quit. And that's exactly what the lead editor did, right? But my question is, and you always got to ask these questions. How did it get that far, right? How did it get to that point where the site was allowed to go that far off the rails? It was supposed to be games journalism, and instead it became political. How did you let the site do that? Who was manning the ship? Who was running it? And who took this long to tell them that this was the wrong thing to do? Because it wasn't like, oh, there's one or two articles. It was like every piece of junk they put out was like this for about 2 years. So who made that decision? Who let them do that? That's someone's problem, right? And then to just say, well, the people who work here, right? The 7 full-time writers. I think they have some part-time too, but there's 7 full-time writers. Now you just have to change everything you do to something you don't want to do. You know, that's shitty. I've been there. I was at a job where I was hired to do one thing, and within a year they decided they didn't want that to exist anymore, so they tried to get me to do something else instead, and I didn't want to do it, and I fought against it, and then eventually they got rid of me. You know, that's fucked up. But
I'm not sure which job he's talking about. I'm actually not sure which job he's talking about. It might have been Sikorsky. This might have been a reference to the helicopter company. It might have been Sikorsky that actually told him to do that kind of thing. Because he also worked at he said he worked at like a bank for a little while, which was, that was him working Wells Fargo selling, what he calls predatory loans. Is he was not a teller. He was like a customer service associate at Wells Fargo. So he was one of those people that you would contact if you were trying to open an account or if you needed a loan. And he said, like, yeah, my job was to, like, you know, approve people for predatory loans. And he's like, well, that goes against my morals. Like, nah, Phil, you just sucked at it. And like, they fired you for that. Or I think he quit that one. I don't know. He also had like a job at like a salad, like a salad and yogurt place. And he quit that one. He got fired from Best Buy for basically abusing the company employee discount. He got fired from Best Buy for abusing employee discount. I forget what other jobs he had. Wells Fargo, I'm not sure if he got fired from. He might have got fired for Wells Fargo, or he might have quit Wells Fargo to work for Sikorsky, and then he got fired from Sikorsky as well. Once his dad resigned. And now he's doing this. Like a lot of most of the jobs. Oh yeah, he also worked at Circuit City when it was around, and I think he got fired from that too.
At the same time, when you're making some of the most toxic content on the internet, you think you just get away with it. And again, you're not really working. You're just fucking around. I mean, how long do you think that was going to last? I don't get it.
I can see that being clipped and used all the fucking time. We know more about some dud on the internet than being with them. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Let's see. I'm not sure if that's a self burn. If you're trying to roast me about that shit, it's like no. I was like, let me go back a few seconds for
They
this.
literally said, but they're a top around. Same time, when you're making some of the most toxic content on the internet, got rid of me. You know, that's fucked up. But at the same time, when you're making some of the most toxic content on the internet, you think you just get away with it. And again, you're not really working. You're just fucking around.
How do you know every little thing about this prick? There is a okay. I will. There's a lot of stuff about Phil that I did not know. When going into this kind of thing, but I have a very, very good memory. I started following Phil back when I was okay, yeah, the whole thing about me following, I'm not sure if I actually mentioned this ever before, why I started following Phil or how I even started getting into Phil, is that like originally I had heard about him when I was watching Total Biscuit and he just made an offhanded mention about him and I was like, oh, who is this guy? It's like, oh, he's a piece of shit, and then I just went on my day and just kind of ignored him. And then I think when I forget, when I was dating this one girl, and early on into our relationship, she told me that she followed like Chris Chan, which we're not going to go into because that's a whole other different can of worms. I actually don't like doing like Chris Chan shit because I actually think he's kind of a pathetic person, also not that interesting. Like, well, no, he's actually very, very interesting, but like Chris Chan has a lot of problems, and it's like it feels kind of sad to follow him. So she was following Chris Chan, and then I offhandedly mentioned DSP. And then we would like listen to like some podcasts about him. This is back in like 2016, 2017. So then we would listen to podcasts about him. And this is the time at the time, like he, broke up with his first girlfriend, Leanna. And then like a little bit after that, like, what is it? My girlfriend broke up with me and I just like didn't really follow him at all for like a few years. And I just sort of got back on the wagon to seeing like, hey, what the fuck is this dude up to? And then it's just like, this shit show was insane. And then I also started doing like, I think I was on Kiwi Farms for a little bit, and I was like reading stuff about DSP on the forums there. And I also was reading shit on like the forums there about Hololive and VTubers. That's how I actually that's how I got more into VTubers, was from like just on Kiwi Farms and talking to people about them, talking to people about Hololive and stuff like that during COVID. And then I started following DSP more. And then there's one particular podcast. I'm going to show this on screen, I think. Let's see. That I followed. This show right here. I'm going to show it on screen. Okay. Get out of here. Is this WPIG 1651. This is run by a dude named ALT Insider. And ALT Insider is a guy who just does a whole lot of research on the stupid shit that Phil has said over the years, including the what I call what like a lot of people call the Incel Manifesto, which is really, really fucking like cringy as shit. And so like he does a whole lot of deep dives on like the various things Phil has said over the years and all, like his entire career, just like in different podcasts, and I just listen to those all the time. So that's how I learn a lot more about him, just because like I actually find ALT like actually entertaining and I like listening to him, and he's just like, he presents the information in a really, really fun way. So that's how I learn a lot about him, just by listening to other people who talk about Phil. That's how I know more about him. Then like that's how I know a lot about him anyway. But yeah, like yeah, he did recently talk about Phil's racism towards Asian people. Yeah. Review of DSP's Lives for Panda left in 2017. The Density Scrolls Taco Chandler, which was Taco Chan is a girl Phil tried to get with in the FGC, and he just failed horribly at it. It's like all this shit that happens in DSP's life is ALT has cataloged on WPIG 1651. It's actually pretty fun to watch. But anyway, we're going to get back into this now. Let's see. I
mean, how long do you think that was going to last? I don't get it. They literally said, but they're a top gaming news site. No, they're not. They weren't even making gaming news. They weren't making gaming news content. They were always politicizing their shit for clickbait. It was stupid as shit. Okay. Anyway, that's the news for today. I mean, that was huge, right? That was like over half an hour of news today. There's so much going on. And considering the fact that a lot of this, is happening in development.
How much time? We're 45 minutes behind.
Weekend regarding games. Like the thing is, I haven't heard anything about Rise of the Ronin. I'm wondering how people's response and reception is to it. I'll look for that information. Same thing.
It's fine. Rise of the Ronin is fine.
Everyone playing it. We'll probably have some good stuff coming up over the weekend to talk about. Okay. But in the meantime, thanks for watching DSP News. I hope you enjoyed the segment. That was a super long one. I feel like we should get to shout outs because if we don't start shout outs now, we'll never finish the show. So let's start with No Tango Dinero, who did today's first super chat and says, Friday party with the boys. Well, thank you, No Tango Dinero, for being here. I enjoy having a nice audience for new release days, and thanks for coming by, and thanks for the support. BB Phil did a super chat and says, is it allowed to campaign for specific hats in your chat? We're having a new RPG today. I can only see the Viking hat winning yet again. Yeah, I mean, if you're interested in a certain hat, you can always say to everyone, hey, everyone, if we get to a hat goal, let's try to convince Phil to put this one in the running, or let's all vote for this one. You can do that, just as long as it's not obnoxious. Don't constantly spam the chat with an automated message over and over. You know what I'm saying? It's all right to naturally in conversation try to campaign for something like that. However, to clarify, the way it works is we have goals for tips, $50. I put on my gunner glasses. At $100, I put on a hat of your choice, and at $150, it's a vest.
Oh my God, he's turning this into a fucking plug. And, okay. Who the fuck is this? Rocky? This is not... Who the fuck? Oh my God.
Thank you very much, Rocky. He says, happy Friday, my friends. Let's get it today with a positive and fun stream for Dragon's Dogma 2. It's currently downloading on my console, so it should be a fun first look. We're going to start a new game.
Where's 1 Minute Man?
I need to refresh the screen.
I'm going to guess it's going to make a lot of money today because it's a new release.
Oh my God. Thank you to the blimp. I appreciate that. For the super chat.
Your editors for DSP Throw use uncredited content. Nice. Thank you, Plop.
First of all, this person's name is Dig Bix. Gee, I wonder what they're trying to say. And they say you should do a segment of DSP junk mail. You go through spam or dumb emails and we can laugh at them. No, that's an awful idea. I know for a fact that when you give entertainment value or you emphasize or give attention to something that's stupid, it just creates more of it. All right? I don't
like that's what the suggestion box is, though. You literally just look at the suggestion box as a bunch of hate mail and just yell at people for like even trying to help you improve your content. And it's literally what the suggestion box has become because people have valid criticisms of what you do, and you're just like, oh, everybody's just so demanding of me that like I'm not going to listen to them. It's like you probably should.
Need more spam. Right. So now I covered everything. So, we have a little bit of extra time.
Oh yeah, Q&A. Oh yeah, like we got fucking Q&A.
When it comes to just the story, if you skip side content, it'd be better for you to do that and then go back to the other games and then return to it after. All right. What I'm noticing now is a pattern that I've seen being a YouTuber, and it's the same pattern that I see in life. Okay, and this is the pattern in life. Everything is like a pendulum. You know what a pendulum is, right? It's going back and forth, swinging.
Why is he explaining what a pendulum is?
One of these that goes back.
Shut the fuck up.
And they're constantly in flux, back and forth, back and forth. Okay. When I started on YouTube, people told me they wanted to see the stories of games as quickly as possible. I was known as the guy who would buy a game on release, play through its story within a day or two, have the entire story up on YouTube, and be on to the next game. That's what I was known for. That's what I was popular for. Then, around 2013, 2014...
You were popular because you spammed everybody's inbox.
This is awful because you don't ever show what a real game is. You're only showing a very small content creator. Balance of side content versus story. Now, when I take on an RPG, as long as it's an RPG that I like and I'm finding meaning in the side content, I make an honest effort to do as much as I can. Take a look at Baldur's Gate 3. I've done almost every piece of side content in that game that I found, right? There's a few that I skipped or didn't find too meaningful, but for the most part, I've done...
The only reason you do that is because Baldur's Gate makes you the most money. You actually don't give a shit about the game itself.
Almost every major mission structure in the game, right? Streams, right?
Let's keep skipping.
The way you play these games, it's too drawn out. You take too long to beat a game. So now because you're taking so long compared to other content creators and streamers, people lose interest. They'll only tune in for a week or two, and then they're tired of you playing the same games. Every other content creator's already moved on and played another game. So like, so how do they do that? Right? How exactly are they doing that? That's the question. Like, how are they getting through an RPG within 2 weeks? Because they're rushing. Because literally they're doing what's being suggested to me here. So they boot the game up and they just follow the story. Maybe
that is not what they're doing. They're actually playing the game at a reasonable pace. You play the game so fucking slowly, it's like a snail by comparison. They actually play the game at a reasonable pace. How is Max? Like, I'm not sure how far he is into like was it Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but I'm pretty sure he's like almost done by now. And he's been like doing everything in that game, but he's also playing it at a fairly reasonable pace. Like he just plays like a normal ass fucking person. Like it should not take someone 45 minutes to do a single basic combat encounter in Baldur's Gate 3. Yet it takes him to do that long to do it because he just takes so long every turn. He doesn't really think about what he's doing. He just waits until chat tells him what to do.
They'll do a side quest here or there, but they literally barrel through and turbo through a game to try to finish it within that small window of popularity that the game has, because as soon as the next big game comes out, they jump on that next bandwagon for clickbait views. Like, literally, that's all it is they're jumping from game to game.
That's not what clickbait is either. That's literally just like being a content creator. They play what they can in the time allotted. They try to beat it as quickly as they can because, like, you know, they want to do what their audience wants. It's not for clickbait. Clickbait is basically the idea of them baiting. It's them like actually like, you know, deceiving you. Like for clickbait to like be called clickbait, it needs to actually involve an act of deception. In this case, they're not deceiving. They're literally just playing other things because it's part of their job. And yes, it is a hectic job, which is why you're not suited for it.
To game, to game, to game. They're not taking their time with games like I do. So because of that, what, you know, they get through them faster. Essentially what's happened is they have become me from back in the day. When I did that formula back in the day, at first it worked, and then I was told, you're doing it wrong. So I changed, and now that I'm a different kind of person in game.
You're the only streamer that I follow that only does 3 hours. Yeah.
Oh, go back to old Phil. But that's not how it works. When you change and you feel like you've improved for the better, you're not going to revert back to your old ways.
They play games constantly too.
I'm not going to revert back to who I was 10, 15 years ago. That's not how life works, right? I compare this to, basically, back in the day, I used to make 10-minute clips. Why? Because YouTube didn't allow clips longer than 10 minutes, right? So for the longest time, I limited my clips to 10 minutes. Now, eventually, people were like, well, now YouTube allows half-an-hour clips. You should go longer. So I started doing 15.
Are they clickbait views if people want to see the new stuff? No, it is not.
Right? Then people complain further. Well, we don't get it. Everyone's doing hour-long videos or longer, and you're still doing 15-minute clips. Why are you such a dinosaur? Why don't you get with the times? So I said, all right, when it makes logical sense to do so, I'll do this. So at one point, and this was like 4 or 5 years ago, my page here got screwed up because of a huge stupid.
No lie, if you had played these games longer than 3 hours, you would have been done like it with Baldur's Gate 3 and like a Dragon weeks ago. That is exactly true. He takes way too long to play these games like per day. Like playing Baldur's Gate 3 for 3 hours a day is like you're fucking doing nothing. I do know people who play like if you're gonna sit down and play Baldur's Gate 3, you're gonna be playing for 6 hours during that time. And if you're going to be playing one session of Baldur's Gate 3 every week, 6 hours per week, you're going to be done with that game in roughly 10 to 12 weeks. It'll take you around 3 months to do it. Probably shorter if you know what you're doing. If you do the game like in 2 streams, it'll take you around like, you know, it'll take around like you know, like not even like a little over a month, like probably like 6 weeks in order to finish the game. If you play like the game twice a week at 6 hours a session.
Stupidity thing with Google Plus integration and shit like that. Not Google Plus. It was their competition to try to compete with Facebook. Was it Google Plus? It might have been Google.
Is it streaming the game on release day the same kind of clickbait? If that's what you mean by exactly.
But anyway, they did this fucked up thing. It glitched the page, and basically the page was gone for like a few weeks. So I used that opportunity. I said, you know, when the page reboots and comes back, when this is all fixed, which it did get fixed, I'm going to come out with longer videos. Because this is what people have asked for ages. So I went from, no exaggeration, I went from 20-minute, 25-minute videos to 1-hour videos. The feedback was, oh, finally, and my views went like this. And my revenue went like this. Okay, it all tanked. So now, come to find out, people have actually been complaining recently, my videos are too long. My 1-hour-long videos of gameplay are just too long. That's too much to put into one video. Bill, why don't you get with the times? Why don't you have more digestible clips that are shorter? What? You mean what?
They're asking you to edit. That's literally it. It's not asking like, hey, make things short. It literally is edit things down to like the best moments to cut out dead air.
I used to fucking do, and you all yelled at me and said that that was the wrong thing to do. So here's what's happening. The trends are like a pendulum. They go back and forth, you see? And
we're going to skip.
I mean, what exactly would you like me to do? You know, I don't know. I really
market research.
C0 says, I'd rather watch a playlist of 30-minute segments. I wasn't a fan at that point in time when you changed. Dark Gaming, what you're saying is both true and false. He says, some people upload an entire 6-hour video on demand. Yes, the lazy ones do. The lazy ones who literally just do their archive streams, but a lot of the top YouTubers or top streamers have editors, and they cut up that stream into segments that are like...
Then what the fuck is what you do? Like, you literally cut up your own videos because you want to beg in between recordings. Like, you cut up your videos to like 1-hour segments, but they are not edited. They're not pared down. They're just... like, it's literally just a raw stream archive chopped up into 3 bits. It's just as lazy as one larger archive. In fact, it's even worse because things render at different rates, so they just get uploaded out of order because you're too stupid to actually set an upload order.
Like 20, 30 minutes long, so now you can watch it in shorter parts too. They don't just leave a 6-hour on-demand video out there, although there are some that do, and that content is atrocious. I've seen it. Imagine if in one day, I only put out one video that was 6 hours long, right? And literally that had the pre-stream music, me coming on stream and doing the podcast, and then 3 to 4 hours of gameplay with what breaks in between. It's all one video, and that's all I put out. And it's up to you to figure it out, right? You just watch it and figure that shit out, right? It's terrible.
There are plenty of people who do that, and the streams are still fine as archives. Like, I've watched stream archives because of that. Because, like, it's just, like, it's easy to put on the background and listen to. I don't need to skip around for that kind of shit. It suits a different audience. In the case of him, it actually would suit his audience better if he actually let the stream archives up. He doesn't. He hides the stream archives because it also, like, exposes the chat. He wants to hide the chat of people, like, saying, like, mean things to him or whatever. Like, the chat on the screen is not his thing. That's something that Raw Phil is doing, but he will want to highlight the live chat replay of things that people have said to him. Even if he manages to ban some of the people that are saying things, it would still replay things that people are critical of.
That's terrible content. That's awful. That's not in any way helping a viewer figure out what if the viewer is there because they care about the game. They don't want to watch your podcast today. Well, you're fucked. You still got to watch the same video. You got to manually scroll through it to find the gameplay portion. Correct? That's why I do it this way. I split it up on purpose so that way you can easily find what you want. You want to watch the podcast? That's its own video. You want to watch the gameplay? Well, it's 3 own videos, and each is titled appropriately, so you know what happens in each part. Each has an individual thumbnail, and they're in a playlist. Easy to find.
Except they're out of order. They're out of order. Like, that's the problem. The demos change often and quickly, and you won't be in the same game for weeks. Yeah.
Quite frankly, all right, it's very simple. It's actually some of the most well-organized, best-managed content on YouTube. The problem is a negative meme and no one cares, right? That's the problem.
What? Hold on a second. I got to talk about this shit. It's like the most ridiculous fucking thing. Like, I can't believe he says this shit. I don't know. It's really, really bad. Like his shit is not organized at all. I'm gonna go to his fucking channel to prove a point. Let's see. Okay, so he's live now. We're not going to just videos. So just on his video tab, like, I'm gonna guess his playlists are okay. Take a look here. We're gonna just take a look here. Take off YouTube mode. Get the fuck out of here. Okay. Okay. So he has the playlist up here, which is fine. Phil and Cat Don Doko Island Co-op. It's literally like 4 videos of Cat being upset, which is kind of funny. His podcast is level 1 podcast, which is shit. Daily raps, summary vids, fuck you with that kind of shit. Okay, here we go. Let's go to videos. See what we got here. Okay, so we're just gonna scroll down just a little bit to see what we got here. So we have on any given day. This is 4 days ago, March 17th, 2024. RPGs update and suggested box, the level 1 podcast. Then the next video is full React Day of Fun, Daily Rap, March 17th, 2024. Okay, and then we have the stuff here, which is other stuff here. So okay, March 19th, 24. March 19th, okay. 2024, the JKB stuff involving him in RTU, Review Tech USA, which fuck that noise. Friday's game selected, PSVR 2 flots, modders angry, the level 1 podcast. Yeah, first of all, he clickbaits his title like fucking crazy. Okay, so this uploaded last, even though it's the first thing he does every day. And then we have before that, we have part 122 of Baldur's Gate 3. Then we have part 123 of Baldur's Gate 3, and then part 121 of Baldur's Gate 3. This is out of order. It's not. It should be 121, 122, 123. But if he actually just upload this all as one big chunk, it would not be that at all. He should just upload as one big chunk, but he will not do that. And then also he clickbaits everything. Was it casual conclusion and a very fateful decision? I am very upset, and where are my items? And the stakes are high. Yeah, he clickbaits everything. He tries to hype up everything. He's like the world's worst hype man at this point. And then Baldur's Gate robs me. Oh yeah, this is also clickbait. Last thing of the day. And then we had the J Hoot thing, yeah. And then also all this stuff as well, which is let's see. Part 125, part 124, and part 126. All this is out of order. And then we have the level 1 podcast again. Baldur's Gate robbed me, yeah. And then the daily wrap again. And then we have this is for the same day, by the way, as all this shit. And also the J Hoops thing. This was its own video, which uploaded first. I'm not sure if it's the first video on his channel, but it is like uploaded there first. And then we have what is it? Yeah, the daily wrap is like the second thing uploaded, like the third thing uploaded here. And then we have part 50 and 51. These things are actually in order, surprisingly enough. For Like a Dragon. But yeah, it's just, this is completely disorganized. It is like the worst fucking thing ever. And I don't understand why he believes this is all organized, because this is just absolute shit. Like, it's really, really bad. Oh, a second, I forgot to, no, there we go. There we go.
People will come to the channel and be like, wait a minute. Everything here is so nice and neat. I can find the show from every day in a playlist. I can find this. Look at this. The title's well done. Look at this, right? The problem is no one cares about the content because everyone just thinks I'm a joke.
You are a joke. You're not the fucking clown. You're the entire goddamn circus. Let's see.
It's true. I just find it hilarious that I watch other content creators and their content is not well organized. It's not even easily digestible or watchable. It's like a work to get to what you want to watch. Like, we watch playthroughs from other content creators and it's like, okay,
name them.
Literally, it'll be like, I'll just throw out a name there. Detroit Become Human, part 10. And that's it. Doesn't say what's in the video. Doesn't say what happens in the gameplay for that day. Nothing. You Chris play, they're just sitting there in a chair talking to their audience for an hour. Who the fuck wants to see that? You named the video Detroit Become Human. Why the fuck is this in this on-demand video? It doesn't make any sense. You know, now you gotta fucking skip through. I don't care about what the fuck you were doing on a particular day 7 years ago. Get the fuck out of here. Get to the content. And you finally get to where the game starts. And now, wow, it only took me like 25 minutes to get to the fucking part I wanted to watch. Wow.
Meanwhile, it takes you to get 90 minutes to get to the fucking part people want to watch. Nobody wants to see you babble on for 90 minutes on this fucking podcast every day. They want you to shut the fuck up and play the game.
Wow, that's great. And these are people more popular than me. But no one gives them shit. Why? Because they're not negative memes on the internet. I am. I work my ass off to try to improve and give you guys the better content. And I feel like my content's better. The way it's organized, the way the length, the titling.
You're almost organized here on that. Look at your scheduling. No one else does it with the same amount of commitment. You got a lot of nonsense that comes. No, that's a LARP. Thank you, the blimp. But I'm pretty sure that's a LARPer. He also doesn't upload most of the stuff he does in the entire playthroughs that let's see. Well, Asm Gold also only streams on Twitch.
The thumbnail, the playlist, the quality of the content itself, the fact that I do. Paper Machete, you're a moron. I'm not doing that right now. This is a fucking live stream, you idiot. I'm talking about the on-demand content. What a fucking moron.
Yeah, you are literally doing that right now. You're fucking like stalling as hell.
You're doing that right now, dude. No fucking moron. This is a live broadcast. Of course.
Thanks, Jade. Thanks for the Jade noises.
Live broadcast. I break it up on purpose so you can find it later. That's what I'm talking about. God, you're dumb. It's like saying I'm watching live TV and there's too much of stuff jumbled together. Well, yeah, on live TV, you're going to have your show. You're going to have commercials in between. You're going to have different shows shifting around in a live broadcast. You're watching live.
Yeah, but you control the stream. You are the one controlling the shit. You don't need 90 minutes before you play a fucking game. You need maybe 10.
Fucking dunce you are.
Like, you need fucking 10. That's how long I take.
Yeah, basically, I do my best. I bend over backwards to make my content better than what these other people are doing. And then everyone just says my content's crap anyway. So at this point, I don't really give a shit. I'll listen to the feedback of those who are actual, like, positive viewers and want improvement. But for the most part, no, I'm not going to rush through a game in one weekend just to get it done. So then you could go back and finish the other games, but then you could go back and do side content later. I'm not doing that. We'll play it today. We'll go focus on Baldur's Gate and Like a Dragon, let's finish them. And then we'll come back and we'll focus on Dragon's Dogma 2. You know,
he hate me. I think that's supposed to be Canadian Kirk.
Game in a few days, like I used to do. I've been there, done that. To be quite frank, it wasn't that great. It actually became more of a chore to do it that way because you never really know how long a game is, and you think you know, and then you try to schedule out. Oh, I'm going to beat this game in 3 days, and then the next game starts, then the next game starts, then, and then it doesn't work that way, and then your whole thing gets screwed up. And also, quite honestly, it disappoints me when I miss a lot of content these days. You know, back then I didn't care. My attitude was just pump out maximum videos. Why? Because I didn't really care. To be honest, like it was more about quantity over quality. Today, I'd much rather have quality over quantity. I think the reason that a lot of people stick with me and support me is because of that. If I just went back to old Phil pumping out endless videos to rush through games, I don't think people would care that much. I think people would be like, oh, he's gone back to his old shit and we don't want to watch that anymore. Right? So.
Oh, Brody legs.
Let's continue. I received a $24 tip.
From 1 Minute Man.
60 Seconds Man. This is great. 60 Seconds Man did a $24 tip. He says, I'm trying to be more anonymous today, hence my name change. No one should notice. That's great. Anyway. So
whatever. It's fucking 1 Minute Man.
Interesting, you're playing another Game of the Year candidate. This game probably has the highest entertainment value at this time. So what vocations did you choose? I guess it would be fighter and mage, or maybe focus on distance, mobility, and spells. Remember, food is perishable in the game, and there will be a lot of walking. I remember from the original game, there's an insane amount of walking. It's just really, you're just traversing this open world for a huge amount of the game until you get into like the dungeons, right? The instance to dungeons and stuff like that. A lot of people compare it to actually like a single player MMO. I know that sounds weird. It kind of follows the formula of an MMO, except there's way more action. It's not turn-based, so it's more action-based combat.
Yeah, the fucking gunning glasses and the way he puts them on every time is annoying as hell.
What's annoying is if you accidentally wander into an area that's way above your level and you just get smacked around. You're like, oh shit, I'm definitely in the wrong area. And then you're like, well, damn, I thought I was going the right way the whole time. Now I gotta go back.
I mean, that's what Xenoblade does. It's fine.
Right?
Just fucking don't worry about it. It's fine.
It should be fun. Thank you, 60-second man, for your support today. Continuing on here. The blimp I shouted you out. Yes, I did. Dig Bix, once again this name, did a super text. Sorry if I upset you with suggesting we cool. No, I'm not upset. I just think your name is ridiculous. We obviously know what you're trying to say, and it's ridiculous. Superfan69 did a super text. Did you hear that Broly Legs passed away? Oh wait, I thought his name was Broly Legs. Is Brody Legs? I know about this person because we actually watched a very inspirational video about them on my React show a few months ago. Because
we don't care. He's going to make it about himself.
After I was out of the competitive community. But moments. I'm referring to false catchy moments. Gotcha, huh? I'm so confused. What do you mean?
What's he reading?
Why don't I auto-ban people that try to catch me and gut me moments? I'm referring to false catchy moments. Gotcha, huh? I'm so confused. What do you mean?
How are you confused? It's literally like, why don't you automatically ban people that try to catch you in gotcha moments?
Very. What else are you guys talking about? People sometimes have these weird topics. I'm trying to understand what they're saying. But I jump in the middle of the conversation, and I don't know what they're talking about. Zero says, off the top of my head, what's a game I'd recommend for someone to check out? Any game at all? Apparently a terrorist attack has happened in Moscow. Obviously I'm up here. I didn't hear anything about that. I'm very sorry to hear that.
I interested in Gunstar Heroes. No.
What's my favorite supermassive game of all time? Probably either Until Dawn or Little Hope. They're both really, really good. Until Dawn is the perfect kind of homage to old school horror movie. Please let me know. We'll talk about it tomorrow, but I'm sure tomorrow we're gonna have a lot to talk about, including day one. True.
Okay, so he's actually playing the fucking game.
You know, I don't know what you guys
let's go to live, and then we'll probably call it for now.
The one who was riding on its back.
Oh no, I don't know what you're talking about, man.
It is a wonder you survived. Accompany me to the stronghold.
Let's do this.
Your wounds and hear your story.
No, I don't trust this guy. I'm not going with him. Fuck him. Who are you assholes? Come here. Wanna fight? Who wants to fight? How about this one? Backstab this guy, take his equipment. Oh god, I just noticed the griffin. Or the, what did he call it? Did he call it a griffin? Can I climb this thing? Yeah, look. I'm sure you're gonna...
Yeah, he just made himself. I knew it. I know. Let's see if I actually go back a little bit more. Because I want to see the character the cat made.
Snakes came off her head? That was cool.
Then you all begin by carrying stones out.
Oh. Oh, fuck.
Now, which one of you was it? No need to be shy.
All hail the Sovereign!
What happened to that character at the end of the first game? Sound okay? This one's a long time coming. Last time Dragon's Dogma, had a release was over a decade ago. No idea what that.
All right, we're gonna forward a little bit just to see if we can find it, because I want to see. Because he already made his character, so you just like pick a preset.
No, import. Character I made yesterday.
Good for nothing pawns.
How do I do it?
Which of you is it? Is it you? No? Ah, it must be you. Aha! I thought I recognized you.
So we're gonna customize and hopefully it lets you import. Use existing character data to create the Arisen. So hopefully this works. Where do you guys see this? You ready for this?
It's literally just you again.
It's old man Phil.
This is it literally is just him. It literally is just him.
I tried to add like wrinkles, make him look like he was dead.
Okay.
For death's.
So do we have the character the cat made?
Like Vince McMahon. I received a $5 tip.
Begin.
Because it looked.
Oh my god.
Dang. Forgot my monster lore. Good afternoon, Lucky Gremlin.
Okay, do we have the pawn?
To minutia and
Okay, I'm not sure if we had the pawn or received the pawn
It's for overwrite, I
that
guess.
Cat made.
Hear your
This thing? Bumper. Oh, oh, oh. Okay.
Hmm.
Let's see what happens. Oh, shit. Well, here we go.
Where are you going?
Oh!
Ah.
I ill like that look in your eye.
No, I gotta do the whole fucking intro over. What the fucking... Capcom, you dickheads.
Fucking
I
Christ.
fucked around and I guess I'm finding out right now. Come on,
Jesus.
man.
Oh my
I
God.
used to be able to dick around in games all the time. I didn't have to get punished for it. This is a bunch of bullshit. I go all the way back to the intro. This is... What the fuck? Come on. Safe rest my ass. Yeah, I was real safe back here. Fucking Medusa attack. Why did I pick last in rest? Because it didn't make sense because there was no in rest. So why is that even an option in the intro? This is fucking bullshit.
here.
Well, I
Who
get
the
to fight the
fuck are you?
Medusa again. Oh my god. Wait, do I have to move the stone too? Oh my god. Oh my
This is no place
god.
for one of your... You ought not anger the overseer.
Shut the fuck up. Oh my god.
'Twould be unwise to disobey. The overseer will show you no mercy.
What am I doing? This sucks. Yeah, in rest. This looks like an in rest to me. Doesn't it look like an in rest to you? This is fucking stupid bull. I'm gonna throw this guy off the cliff. Fuck this guy.
Yeah, we haven't seen Cat's
on,
Cat's
Like Groundhog
fucking
Day.
character yet because I don't think you have access to pawns yet, and I feel like I want to see that before I head off for the day.
Punch this guy and steal.
I play something on in the background just to pass the time.
I can't believe I gotta do this
Prepared to
again.
work.
Unsure what though.
Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. You're already dead. You got sucked in by tentacles. All right.
What's going on with phone?
Fucking stupid. Give me this fucking round. Toss this shit. I wish you could toss it, like throw it
The vicinity
physically.
is quite cluttered. Pray leap over aught that poses a
Oh, I'll leap all right. You said delete. I'll give you a leap.
A job well done.
Oh look, at least I can see the cutscene this time. Remember before the camera glitched?
What is
Thinking of
this
something else real
information?
quick.
Perhaps we ought to investigate.
Ah! Oh my god. This was not a blunder. I didn't make the game, okay? This is not a blunder. Don't call it that.
Observe your foes carefully and attack as the situation demands.
Alright, here we go. Climb it, stab her in the head. Ready? Someone cast a fire spell when I was up here, you dick. Why would you cast a fire spell when I'm climbing?
Shields offer welcome protection.
I don't know what he's doing a bunch
Get over
here.
Alright, we're out of stamina. Shit, I gotta get my stamina back. Oh, fuck. I gotta get my stamina back.
Boulders, barrels, and the like can make effective weapons.
Oh, that was the running stab he did. That's there, sick. Here's your combo. I wanna jump on her again like I did last time. Shit.
Delivering targeted
I'm gonna do war. I'm just gonna go to Warframe.
Here's a targeted strike. This guy's in my way. Get the fuck out of here. I want to stab her in the head and you're in the way, stupid.
You know, we're gonna take a little bit of a detour to do something else right now for real quick. I want to see this. So, Turn off YouTube mode, and there we go. Yeah, there we go. So we have Arthur.
So, you're coming, are we?
It's a party, Arthur. Of course not.
Well, we'll reveal at TennoCon. Oh my god. Don't be late. Okay, cool. All right, we're going to turn back this again, so I'll turn back on Phil.
That would be cool. You just pick up everyone, toss him off a cliff. Can I pick him up? Come here. Come here. Grab.
Let me go to my...
Yeah, you pick him up. Holy shit, look at this. Seriously? What the fuck, dude? You pick anyone up in the game. Throw, right bumper, here.
And then let's see what else they have, because I don't work for some other things. So, the Aoi Sneak Peek is the big thing that just dropped. So, what the fuck is he? What's he doing?
Throw anyone off a cliff. Even an NPC, a story NPC, he's down there. Yo, he's down in the water. Oh my god. He's in the fucking water. What do I do now? Now I fucked the game up.
Oh my god.
Oh well. Guess we'll just go up on our own. We'll have our own little adventure here. We don't need him.
This is the worst. This is pure suffering.
Intrusive to the story.
Warframe. Okay, so we got the Aoi Sneak Peek.
Your weapons.
We got what else we got? First look at Jade Shadows, which is the next update. Let's see.
Target an enemy. Shit. Ah, fuck.
And then Protea Prime is the next frame.
Here it is. That's the weapon skill. Wind strike. It's like a stab, a dash and stab.
Yeah, Protea Prime first look.
Oh, that's pretty good. I wonder if it breaks.
Protea Prime aren't okay. Yeah. The Okina Prime dual daggers and the Velix Prime pistol.
I got a beast skin for doing that.
It's gonna be a while because Gauss Prime is still going on.
Whatever you want. He's over there. He's in the water. I wonder if he's dead. He's in the water. He didn't follow me either. He's like stuck over there. Oh, so much for them. I guess we keep going, right? Where do I go? Up here? Okay. What's this? Some flowers? Gather. Some grapes. Ooh, some delicious grapes.
Yeah, we're just gonna stick around until I guess fucking like.
Oh, the lighting's super.
Whatever. His
the shadows.
His
The shadows are like really
I don't know.
well done.
I keep forgetting what I'm actually sticking around for. Oh no, we're waiting until he gets his fucking pawn, because his pawn is the thing that Cat made.
I have no idea where I'm going, by the way.
So this is his Arisen is just
First a
him.
Soft lock, now meet a toss lock. There you go. I guess this is where we're going. See that? When an enemy is flinching, pick them up with right jerk. Hey, you fucker! Did he hit you with a tomato or something? Oh, yeah! Oh shit, that was beautiful! Yo, that was a sick plunge attack. Oh, when they're down, you hit Y and you keep them, stab them when they're down. Did you see the plunge attack I did? That was jumping Y, and he absolutely executed the guy. That was sick. I already leveled up. How do I get health back? I don't know how to get health back. They haven't explained that yet. This is the resident.
I mean, you could. Is there rations? Do you know how to use rations?
RE engine.
You could just use the rations if there's rations.
Recover health. I'm sure the guy was going to tell me how, but you know he's dead now. What the fuck? What the fuck? What's going on?
I think it means you need to move there. Probably just fucking go there.
This is where I. So confused. Where am I? The map. Wow, what a great map. So, cursor jump. What is it jumping to? Current location? That's where I am. I'm over here. And this guy's dead. I guess I follow the path? I don't know. Am I supposed to be following this? I don't know what I'm doing.
Thanks, Juan. It's the best gameplay ever.
I should restart? Nah, fuck them.
God.
I guess we're just going to keep walking. I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. I killed my guy and I tossed him off a cliff, so.
I wish I had a snack to deal with this bullshit, but whatever. I have vodka, but I don't feel like drinking right now.
Fuck him. I need that asshole.
I guess he made it to like the first town.
Welcome, Arisen.
Wait, you killed my griffin!
We pawns have long awaited your arrival.
This pawn bitch killed my griffin.
Do you not? We can take you to it. Pray. Come this way.
Oh, is this where we actually get to meet this pawn? Is this going to stay for this madness?
This is probably where you get your first pawn. Excuse me.
Tis a gate by which we of the Pawn Legion may cross o'er into this world.
Wow. Amazing.
Pray. Summon your pawn.
It looks like he does have some gray in the beard, but it's not correct. Yeah. And my head's too wide.
Would have served you.
I'm gonna make it not as wide.
God.
Hopefully you can fix that later. I don't know.
Not paid $2, asshole. Pay up.
Yes. So this pawn is the one that Cat made for the game. Ready? Here we go.
Oh my God.
Look at this. He's like a lion character with red hair. Pretty cool. In underwear. No, Beastrin don't have tails though, which is a little weird. Okay, my first pawn. He named him Elric. And for some reason his moniker is Darian. I guess his full name is Elric Darian or something like that. Or Darian Elric. Okay. Here he is. Hello. Hi, how you doing? KMF says 50% lion, 50% zebra, 100% G.
This world and the many other realms with which we are connected.
Nice voice actor.
I am no exception. My experiences in these other worlds will doubtless be of aid to you on your adventure. 'Tis my privilege to accompany you as your loyal pawn, and I will gladly use the knowledge I gain to guide you.
Looks like a Bengal tiger. Yeah, perhaps. White tiger with stripes, but a cool like mane.
I think we're done here. I actually gotta say I actually like Cat's pawn. Cat's pawn is actually pretty cool.
Plumber who fixes leaks says, "Is he black with white stripes or white with black stripes?"
But yeah, like that's actually like a cool like NPC. Like I will say that. Like I have a feeling that she made that after like an Elder Scrolls character, and then she likes to play the Khajiit. But yeah, we're done. We're done. I just wanted to see the pawn that Cat created, but we're fucking done. I might come back later tonight with Dave the Diver. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.
But